This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Thank you, David. Welcome to DBL. It's Tuesday, August 24th. I'm Tori here with Al, Erica, and our very own Dr. Coley.
Yes.
Hi, guys. So much clapping for her. No one else is. Okay, let's get started. All right, because we have a lot of questions, Doc, and we want to know your real opinion here. Everyone's talking about how the FDA granted full approval for the Pfizer vaccine yesterday, and now the president has a really strong message for U.S. companies. So, Doc, and everyone watching, take a look.
Today, I'm calling on more companies, I should say, in the private sector to step up with vaccine requirements that'll reach millions more people. If you're a business leader, a nonprofit leader, a state or local leader who has been waiting for full FDA approval to require vaccinations, I call on you now to do that.
So the excuses are over, and I want to know from you, much like other vaccines, will COVID become required?
I really think it will. And that's why if you haven't gotten it yet, it's time to jump onto that bandwagon, because the last thing you want to do is to be a pariah because you haven't gotten this vaccine. You can't go to concerts, you can't go to movies, you can't travel on planes. We're going to see a trend towards this happen until we can get this virus under control.
Well, I've been for that the whole time. I know it's unpopular, but that's how I feel like we'll get to herd immunity. Sorry, I'll go ahead.
No, I mean, maybe, hopefully.
Right.
You know, and now that Pfizer has full approval.
That's the key.
Do you think this will be what gets people that are on the fence to come on over and get vaccinated?
I do, Al. I think it'll do two things. One, it'll allow people to mandate the vaccine, because you can only do that for something that's fully FDA authorized. But second, 30% of people were saying they're not getting vaccinated, not because they're anti-vaxxers, but because they're afraid that it's not fully approved. So hopefully it'll bring them over. Now, what I heard yesterday, which made me really mad, was that people were saying, oh, now they rushed the FDA.
Right, that's the new excuse.
Oh, you can't
Moving the
win.
goalposts.
Right.
Yes.
You can't win with these people. And they didn't rush it. They just got all hands on deck and showed what's possible when we do that.
And we've studied the mRNA vaccine for over 150 years, am I right? Which this is part of?
We've studied them for a long time. I don't think it's been 150 years, but since Ebola is when they were first generated. But we have 40,000 patients worth of data that we looked at. Normally, the FDA looks at 5,000, 8,000, maybe 10,000. So a large volume of data. And over 2.3 billion people worldwide have gotten the COVID vaccine. So how much more data do you really need?
That's interesting just from a numbers standpoint.
Yeah.
Because like most people don't know that information, you know, that it's generally only a half, if a fourth of what we're looking at now.
Yeah.
You talked about like you can't win, but there's a lose-lose demographic in this, and that's children. So what about the kids under 12? When will they finally be able to get vaccinated?
So this population I'm starting to get really worried about, because with the adults it was a no-brainer, right? Emergency use authorization, because the benefit far outweighs the risk. But in kids who generally don't tend to get as sick, it's not clear to me whether we are going to give an EUA to kids, which would happen this fall or winter, or we're going to wait and get full approval, which might not happen till next spring. So it's a little bit of a moving target, but because it's unclear when our kids are going to be able to get vaccinated under 12, I think it's really important for the adults to make sure they get vaccinated.
Step it up.
Yeah, to reduce the infection.
Right. Well, let's talk about the adults for a second, and the adults that have hopefully had their second shot and are now looking towards the booster shot. I've always wondered this about booster shots. Is it the same shot that you got with the first or second, or is it like a little bit less or a little bit more? Or like what is a booster shot?
So a booster shot is basically a way to flex your immune system's bicep.
Ooh, look at that.
That's
big.
That's right. That's right. So it's got to work out with the first shot and the second shot, and then it's starting to get a little lazy. So you want to remind it how to fight the virus again by giving the booster shot. Now, ideally, we would have wanted a Delta-specific booster, which the Pfizer CEO told us yesterday they are working on. But I wish it had come out with this round instead of waiting till the next round. But even with the original booster, we're seeing a really good response in terms of augmentation of antibodies and other types of immune cells. So I like to say it's sort of like buying last year's Mac instead of this year's Mac computer. As recently, that's right.
It's not used,
it works just as well. It's just a little slower, but it would be nicer to have the new one, obviously.
That's a good question. That's a good way of doing that. All right, here's a question so many of us want to know. When will the pandemic finally be over? And I do want to know from you, just before we go to Dr. Fauci, how are you feeling just from your own experiences?
You know, I'm feeling pretty good. I think I've gotten used to living alongside this virus, but I really want us to change our mindset It's not going to flip a switch and be over. I can guarantee you that. This is a cold virus. It is going to stick around. It's sort of like asking the question, when did we fall out of love? Well, it doesn't just happen one day. It happens slowly over time. And that's exactly what's going to happen with this pandemic. We're going to see a slow transition back to normalcy. But you know what's going to get us there faster? The vaccine. If we get the vaccine, we will get there faster, but it's going to happen one day at a time, not suddenly.
Wow, interesting. Well, if you are still worried, still have questions, which we hope we're answering for you, please let us know so we can make sure all your doubts are covered and we can hopefully convince you to get the vaccine. Now, Dr. Fauci is, you know, some are saying he's flip-flopping after this news. He originally said the coronavirus would still be a problem come fall 2022, but now he's got a different estimate, sort of. Here's what he said yesterday.
I said, if we can get through this winter and get really the majority, overwhelming majority of the 90 million people who have not been vaccinated, I hope we could start to get some good control in the spring of 2022. I didn't mean the fall. I misspoke. My bad.
That's a big my bad. Like, I feel like that's a big my bad. I asked you before about the pandemic, but what do you think about his response?
Well, I think, yes, it is a big my bad. I do agree with that. But I think he is speculating a little too much, honestly, because there's no way for us to know when it's going to be over because there's too many moving parts. A big piece of it is how many of us get vaccinated. So what we do, which he can't necessarily predict. But another huge piece, you guys, is what's going on in the rest of the world. Guess what? Delta got on a plane from India and came here. We had not anticipated Delta at all. And now we're kind of back where we started last year because of Delta. So next year it could be something else because we know that in many countries where they don't have access to vaccinations, the virus is raging and new variants are coming up. We talked about Lambda the other day ourselves. So I think it's all speculation and really hard to predict that, yes, it's going to be over if we do this. But the point he's trying to make, which I completely agree with, the more Americans that get vaccinated, the more we're getting closer to ending it.
Wow.
I have a question.
Please, and Eric as well.
Yeah, it's not on the prompter, but I was talking with some buddies of mine last night. One of them is a physician, my old roommate from college. And
you're a physician as well.
Yeah,
everyone he's not.
Yes,
He's not everyone. He's not.
And, we were talking about, we're sports fans, and we were saying next week pretty much kicks off college football. Stadiums that hold 100,000 people, a lot of them located in the South where we have low vaccination rates. Is this something that could possibly not only be like a super spreader event, but also maybe create a new variant?
Absolutely. In fact, we even know that vaccinated people, if they catch the Delta, can spread it to others. So we're even in a worse spot than we were last year, when it was like, oh, well, once you get vaccinated, it stops because Alpha, Beta, the original variant, they don't spread once you catch it if you're vaccinated. So I think the sporting events are such a big part of our life, right? We want to get back to them, but we want to do it safely, because doing it in an irresponsible fashion like this, where people just get together and what comes can come, is really going to create a cascade of events that we're going to be paying for next year.
That's not good. Dr. Coley, I'm curious to know your take on this. A group of doctors in Florida walked out in protest yesterday. They said they're exhausted and their patients and their resources are running low. They're protesting all of the unvaccinated patients they're treating, and they're hoping the walkout will encourage more people to go and get vaccinated. Love to hear your take on this.
You know, if I was in Florida, I would have joined the protest.
Wow.
Yes, because I am right there with them. These unvaccinated people, if they can get vaccinated, we're not talking about the ones that can't, because those are a special population, but if you can get vaccinated and you're not doing it, you are being irresponsible, you're being selfish, and you're setting back not just yourself, but everybody else around you. And asking the medical system to step up and pay for your mistakes, both with money, with time, with resources, and with their emotional heartache, I think it's too much. And of course, I would never go so far as to refuse treatment as somebody who was vaccinated.
That was my question to you next, right?
I don't think I could ever do that, because you take an oath, and even if somebody makes a bad decision, you have to help them when they're at their worst, which is when they're sick. But I think if we can try to get this message across to people. It's the most important thing. What do you guys think about the protest? Do you think less of the doctors, or?
I don't think less of the doctors. I'm just wondering if there's ever going to be a possible triage situation where if someone comes in and they have some type of terminal illness and they need treatment, do they get first look over someone with COVID?
Well, in all the doctors' blogs, we are already triaging. People who got vaccinated and end up in the hospital are getting first priority over the unvaccinated who are ending up in the hospital.
So you guys are taking it upon yourself to create a triage situation, like Erica said.
Absolutely, because the people that got unvaccinated are there because of their choice. The people that got vaccinated are there because of things out of their control.
Wow. Wow. Lots of info, facts not fear. Join us in the comments and let us know if you have questions. Coming up on DBL, a mother shares how she put a stop to bullying before it started. The viral post that helped her son, who has a rare condition, feel completely accepted at school. And kids who haven't flown the coop, are they with you right now on the couch? Yes. Should parents be charging adult children rent?
Awkward.
Stay tuned. Awkward.
Closed captioning provided by
Hi DBL Nation, it's Kelly Schubert here with the DBL digital team. I've unfortunately got some breaking news coming in. Legendary Rolling Stones drummer Charlie Watts has passed away at the age of 80. Now, we don't know exactly what happened, but we do know he had a medical procedure a few months back, and he needed to back out of the tour to recover from that. So that is the latest news here. Charlie Watts dead at 80. Sad news to report today. Let's head to the desk and continue the conversation with Tori. Tori, we're coming over to continue the conversation with you.
Oh, excellent. Thank you.
Simple question. Do kids have to...
So this is a little prepping on the side that goes on behind the scenes.
Sorry.
This is our senior supervising producer, Michael, talking to Tori.
I just want to say I have a strong take. I'm not going to say what it is on this. Should adult children have, or should they pay rent if they're living at home? I have a very strong take, and I'd really like it if you are someone living at home or a parent or a grandparent to write in and let us know your opinion. Your voice counts on this because you're the one dealing with it.
It's a lot. It's a lot because sometimes the kid is, helping around at home.
Yep.
And I have seen that situation. But I also do think that you can get comfortable. I've seen people once you start getting your meals cooked and your mom's folding your laundry. And
What's that part in, is it Wedding Crashers? He's like, meatloaf! Mom!
Yeah.
Meatloaf!
It's a thing, but it is also a stigma, people that do stay at home with their parents, and sometimes it does work. And if you do have kids, I think the idea of having an intergenerational presence with your kids does help. And I think there's a lot of just families that do that.
Well, I was going to wonder if people in the Asian community, a lot of them live with their elders and they have that as part of Lydia's like,
Hispanic,
yes,
Native
thank you.
American.
A lot of communities do that. And
Italian.
A large amount of ethnicities do that.
And black folks got grandma in house.
I can't finish the sentence. He's just going to keep naming people. That's it. No, I'm just kidding. But some people see it as a sign of respect, which is part of the culture. So we'd love to hear your opinion on this. It's not cut and dry. But wouldn't you guys want to cut and dry like ribeye right now?
Yeah, I like the
I'm
cowboy
kind of
cuts.
in the mood for a... Welcome back to DBL. Yesterday, we talked about celebs saying goodbye to their kids, heading off to college, including Brooke Shields and Candace Cameron Bure. They both posted pictures of it on social media. But what happens when adult kids don't leave? There was a Reddit post about this that's now gone viral. It was written by a 21-year-old who got a raise at work, and his parents demanded he pay $350 a week for a room he shares with his younger brother. He thinks it's unfair. Okay, so the question is, we're going to put it to you with a poll. You know we love our poll. Should parents charge adult kids rent? Yes or no? Go to dblvote.com to weigh in. Erica Cobb.
You know, I know that this gets complicated because obviously there are caregivers,
Yes.
so I don't want to lump everyone in. But
That's
in
fair.
this particular situation, especially if you have a job that you're getting a raise that would substantiate at $350 a month to help with the household, some people do that from the age of 12, 13 years old, contribute to the household. So if your parents are in a situation where they could actually utilize that money, then it's very selfish not to do it just because they're your parents.
And just to correct you really quick, it was $350 a week they're charging this.
Well, then he must be making some pretty good coin.
Right.
Al, what do you think?
I mean, I think that this is a passive-aggressive way to get this young person to move out. You know, now, when you do have somebody living with you, Eric, I don't know if you've ever had an extended guest, somebody that's been with you 4, 6, 8 weeks, but you do notice it. There's more groceries to be bought, more higher electricity, more air conditioning, etc. So I do understand that. But if we're talking about a situation that does not involve a caregiver, and you kind of do need to kind of shove that young person out, I do understand. But we are now in a day and age with millennials, and they have crushing student debt. And if they are actively working to pay that debt back, and you see that as a parent, that's fine. But if you feel like that money is going to happy hour, gotta go, bro.
Yeah, I have a strong take on this. I think a lot of people immediately in the society, especially in the 90s, there's always like that Wayne's World basement, like, get out of the basement,
loser. In the basement, yes.
And I gotta be honest with you, the people I know living in basements or at home either have the student debt you're talking about, had a medical issue they can't now pay off, have incredible problems finding a job that pays them a livable wage. I don't mean a wage, I mean a livable wage. They can't afford to go out because of sometimes climate change, and the housing has gone up in certain areas. I honestly feel like give them a break if you can. If you can, the millennials are facing an unprecedented COVID pandemic, social injustice, student debt. I just think they have it harder than when your dad was in GM and could make a pension for the rest of his life.
I understand what you're saying, and I agree to a certain extent. We have a situation in our family right now where it's like, hey, I'm going to take this time to pay off things because I don't necessarily have to be any place in the world right now, and I can still work. But that's a time frame. And also during that time frame, because they're not having to do rent and all of these other things, there's a stipend of some sort that's paid as contribution, like, hey, I'm not here to mooch off of you, but thank you for allowing me this opportunity to get on my feet better than I was before the pandemic.
Absolutely.
Interesting. All right, let's see what the audience thinks. 71% of you say yes. 29% of you say no, they shouldn't have to pay rent. If you are watching with a child and you're a grandparent or parent, I apologize for that awkward segment.
And they're watching with an adult, that ain't no child.
That's right, an adult. Coming up on DBL, the perfect send-off for the first day of school, how a really special little boy got the royal treatment. Stay tuned for this.
I want the royal treatment.
A new report from T-Mobile says hackers have compromised more than 50 million of their accounts. The hackers gained access to everything from names and addresses to account PINs and social security numbers. And it's not just current customers. Former customers and anyone who's applied for an account could have been targeted. T-Mobile says they're working with law enforcement and taking steps to protect affected customers, but there are some things you can do to stay vigilant. First, change your passwords on the affected accounts. Once you've done that, keep an eye on your bank statements and credit reports. And remember, you can still get free weekly reports from all 3 credit bureaus. If you see any suspicious activity, you can freeze your credit, which will make it tougher for hackers to open new accounts with your stolen information. We know all this may seem like a lot of work, but when it comes to securing your personal info, putting in the effort now can make a big difference down the line.
Welcome back to DBL. If you know what it's like to be bullied, then you know the first day of school is no simple task. Earlier, we spoke with a protective mom who took a cue from a Hollywood film. That's today's DBL Spotlight.
I'm pretty much totally petrified.
I'll see you later.
Okay, you don't want to walk up with your parents because it's not cool.
But you're cool.
I know I am, but technically most dads aren't. Neither are these helmets.
Dear God, please make them be nice to him. Like in the movie Wonder, Brittany Dennison is the mother of Michael, a 5-year-old with the same rare syndrome.
The fact that he doesn't have ears, the fact that he has a trach around his neck. His hearing aids right now are attached to a headband. In the future, they will be implanted on the back of his head. I think that along with the trach and the fact that he doesn't have ears are probably the 3 biggest things that make him more of a target for bullying.
Before his first day of school, she shared her fears in a post to other parents, urging them to help protect him from bullying.
The message that I hope that adults will hear and internalize is that it's really our behaviors that the kids are hanging on and learning from.
Now her message of kindness is going viral. Brittany Dennison, welcome to Daily Blast Live. Thank you for taking the time to be here. What about your extremely bright 5-year-old son, Michael, made you concerned about potential bullying? Talk to us about that.
Michael was born with a condition called Treacher-Collins syndrome, and basically all the bones in his face are just a little smaller than they should be. So from the minute he was born, we anticipated that he would be a target for bullying. I will say that it's actually been quite the opposite. Some people say special needs, but we are starting to call it special treatment.
Heck yes! Way to go, Michael.
Now, you wrote a very heartfelt message on social media that went viral. What did you say in that message, and why was it important for you to share it?
My intention was just to reach other parents of children who would interact with him so that they could have the conversation with their children and hopefully make his first day of kindergarten a little bit easier. It's important to tell your children that if they're going to stare, they should say hi. I know a lot of the times we tell our children, don't stare, and we're actually setting the example for them to look away, which is actually more harmful. The most important thing that we can do for our children is to set the example by treating other adults with kindness and positivity.
Something incredible happened on Michael's first day of school. Can you tell us about it?
We got a call from a firefighter after we had made the original post on Facebook who invited Michael to ride to school in a fire truck. But little did I know that they had also invited his favorite superhero, who happens to double as a Midlothian police officer. So he's Captain America, and there's another police officer who dressed up as Batman. So we were surprised on the first day of school, walking into our front yard to fire trucks, police officers, Captain America, and Batman.
What do you feel can be done to put an end to bullying, both online and in person?
The only thing that really puts an end to bullying is that we stop just telling our children and that we actually show them. And it's making eye contact with the cashier that's checking you out, and it's giving a compliment to the woman in the drive-through line. And when somebody cuts you off in traffic, how are you handling that situation? And are you name calling? What's our behavior with other adults, and what are we modeling for our kids?
Just so you know, Brittany, my mom's in a wheelchair sometimes, and people will stare, and she'll go like this to them, and they'll like really scarily come over, and she'll go, "You want to race?" It's like the idea, just interact, just ask me.
Or
what's
a little
wrong.
joke, something to break the ice.
Exactly. So please tell Michael we are thinking about him. Brittany, thank you so much for joining us and starting a conversation to help other parents prevent bullying.
Thank you.
You can support more kids like Michael by visiting the Children's Craniofacial Association's website at ccakids.org. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
CMS exemption form that every parent can request to fill out for their child. You can see on this form that there are 3 exemptions: medical, behavioral, or developmental. However, many parents have asked us if CMS will accept any other reasons for not wearing a mask. Let's verify. Our sources, CMS and Gary Monty, attorney and managing partner at Monty PLLC. The CMS exemption form for the 2021-2022 school year states exemptions from wearing a face covering due to medical, developmental, or behavioral reasons require certification by a medical provider. It goes on to say that parents and the medical provider need to fill out the form. Many people have wondered if religious exemptions would be allowed. We reached out to CMS and asked if students could be exempt for any other reason than what's on the sheet. In an email, CMS told us the exemptions are spelled out on the form, so we can verify that no, religious exemptions are not included on the CMS form. However, attorney Gary Monty says religious exemptions, though not on the form, could hold up in court if a person was not wearing a mask.
I would say that the 3 exemptions that the CMS, the school system, has put down are probably the exceptions that would be considered the standard. However, there's always, room for a court to say, hey, there are religious exceptions that ought to be applied, and a judge, a court, a jury could decide that.
However, Monty says parents need to keep their children home if their kids are showing symptoms.
If the child was exhibiting symptoms or had been exposed to someone with COVID and you sent them to school, then certainly you would still probably be held liable for that, irrespective of the religious exemption.
The form does state students exempt from wearing a face mask are required to quarantine for 14 days if they're in close contact with someone who tested positive, unless the student is fully vaccinated and symptom-free. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
Welcome back to DBL. We did want to take a moment to let you all know that the Rolling Stones drummer Charlie Watts did pass away at the age of 80. He was peacefully surrounded by family. We wish him well and hope he's rocking out in heaven. DBL is new every day. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Start of the pandemic, it seemed like plastic barriers went up everywhere. So why are some experts saying it's time to take them down? Let's connect the dots. New research suggests that plastic barriers are not that effective at stopping COVID-19. In fact, they may be making some situations worse. You know the virus spreads through small particles in the air. Good airflow and ventilation can help get rid of them. Now scientists tell the New York Times those plastic barriers can actually cut off the airflow in a room, trapping virus particles in concentrated areas. And those shields aren't blocking as many germs as you may think. Plastic can be great for stopping something like a cough or a sneeze, but it does very little to stop the virus particles an infected person emits just by breathing. Those particles are going to waft over and under the barrier, often in a more concentrated way. These new findings have big implications for the school year. In fact, a study from Johns Hopkins suggests classrooms with screens on desks actually had an increased risk of coronavirus infection. Researchers say schools should instead focus on improving airflow, wearing masks, and encouraging vaccinations to keep COVID out of the classroom. And that is Connecting the Dots.
About today on Daily Blast Live.
Dr. Fauci predicts when we could get back to normal.
There's no guarantee because it's up to us.
Plus, a group of doctors walk out in protest of unvaccinated patients. Our medical expert is here to weigh in. Kids who haven't flown the coop, should parents be charging adult children rent? Actress Loretta Devine will be here live. And an A-list celebrity bodyguard, Simon Newton, with a resume including everyone from Naomi Campbell to Kendall Jenner to Michael Jackson.
When they covered the face, everyone wanted that first photo.
Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2. You see that, everybody? That was our senior executive producer, Bert, who forgets that we have a live show.
No, he should have forgotten. They said 10 seconds, and he just stood there like he was at the bus stop. That was
Al, where do you come up with your analogies? They're hilarious. Welcome to DBL, everybody. Yep, it is Tuesday, August 24th. I'm Sam here with Al, Jeff, and our very own Dr. Coley. All right, let's get started because all of you are talking about how the FDA granted full approval for the Pfizer vaccine, and now the president has a strong message for U.S. companies. Take a look.
Today I'm calling on more companies, I should say, in the private sector to step up with vaccine requirements that'll reach millions more people. If you're a business leader, a nonprofit leader, a state or local leader who has been waiting for full FDA approval to require vaccinations, I call on you now to do that.
Okay, so thank goodness we have Dr. Coley here to answer our questions. Do you think the COVID vaccine will be just like other vaccines that are universally required for normal life?
I think it's already gotten there, guys. And I think the people that choose not to get the COVID vaccine are going to alienate themselves from society. They're going to cut themselves out of things. I had a friend who went to New York over the weekend, went to a Broadway show. To get into the show, you have to have your original vaccine card. To get into New York restaurants, you have to have your vaccine card. So if you choose not to get vaccinated, you are really alienating yourself from all the things that you love to do. And I really hope that people will start getting vaccinated because that's where we're headed.
Well, let's talk about the people that are saying, yeah, I'm not vaccinated, but I'm not an anti-vaxxer. It's just the fact that this is not FDA approved. So now that Pfizer has gotten the approval, do you think this will move those people that were on the fence to the side of the vaccinated?
I really hope so, Al. There were 30% of people that were saying that they're waiting for the FDA approval. It's a lot of people. What else I hope is that companies, even though I hate to use the stick rather than the carrot, will start mandating, because that's something that when people have consequences for not doing something, it motivates them to do it. And we're doing it in their best interest. The third piece of this is now that Pfizer is now fully FDA approved, it can start advertising. So you're going to see ads on TV about life with the vaccine. Yeah. And so you're going to reach those people who maybe had never really thought about life with the vaccine.
All right.
Doctorate and marketing degree.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. What about kids now, like mine? They're only 2 and 4, but what about kids under 12? When are they going to start getting vaccinated?
You know, I hope that comes soon, Jeff, but I'm worried that that timeline's getting pushed farther and farther back. Because remember, in order to get full FDA approval, this vaccine first had emergency use authorization based on the preliminary data. Now, what we heard from Dr. Fauci yesterday was that with kids, that risk-benefit ratio may not favor emergency use authorization. So we may want to wait for full approval for kids, which is going to take its time. So I'm hoping that it'll happen this fall for all you guys as kids, but I think it may happen next year even.
Well, let's keep talking about fall, and let's talk about the people, I'm assuming like us, that have had both shots and are getting ready for their booster shot. I've always wondered, maybe you guys know, I don't know, what is a booster shot? Is it just like the last shot that we got, or is it just a little bit more? Like, what is a booster shot?
So a booster shot can be either, but it's really a way to flex your immune system's muscle. So it's like going back to the gym with your personal trainer, right? You've been out of it for a little while, so your immune system, which maybe hasn't been activated, is starting to get a little lazy. So it's a way to boost your antibodies. It's a way to boost your immune fighting cells. And you can do mix and match boosters. So you can have one type type of 1 booster, like a messenger RNA mixed with a DNA vaccine, so like a Pfizer and a Johnson & Johnson, but that's not what we're doing right now. What we're doing and what's really been put out there so far by the White House is the same manufacturer even, so Pfizer, Moderna, given about 6 to 8 months after the second dose in order to boost the antibodies and really augment that immune response. Now, what we need to wait on, you guys, is whether this is safe. We know that it works. We know it works really well to boost those antibodies, but we need the FDA to greenlight it under emergency use authorization to know that it's also safe for us to get.
So we have a lot of our viewers that are asking questions. One, when will the pandemic be over? Speaking of which, Dr. Fauci, he originally estimated, and I want our viewers and for you to watch what he said, because now our viewers are accusing him of flip-flopping, right? So he originally said the coronavirus would still be a problem come fall of 2022. But if you look at this clip, he has a new estimate. Take a look, Dr. Coley.
I said if we can get through this winter and get really the overwhelming majority of the 90 million people who have not been vaccinated, I hope we could start to get some good control in the spring of 2022. I didn't mean the fall. I misspoke. My bad.
Okay, so Dr. Coley, did he flip-flop? According to some of our viewers, they believe he did.
A little bit, I would say yes. He's changing his timeline. He's changing his goalposts. But at the same time, I want to remind our viewers that there are a lot of moving parts here. And it's not like we have a crystal ball that tells us exactly what's going on. So think about it like you're playing a game. You're playing a football game, and not only is the goalpost changing, but the rules of the game are changing. So that's what's happened here. If everything had stayed the same, he might have been right, but Delta got introduced. Right. Americans decided not to get vaccinated. We have other countries that have new variants popping up that are intermixing with, travel back and forth. So all of these things are changing. So I would say probably the right thing to do was for him to not make a prediction. And that's what I've learned through this entire process, is that you have to be humbled and say you're wrong when you're wrong. But at the same time, you have to know what you know and what you don't know. We don't actually know when this is going to be over because there's too many moving parts. But the one thing that's definitely going to get us closer every single time, getting vaccinated.
Doc, let me ask you, a lot of people, Dr. Fauci rubs people the wrong way in some instances. I know you're a big fan, right? And, I want to listen to him as well. But from the beginning of this pandemic, I always had one question when he talked about the masks. He said, we don't need masks. And he lied on purpose because we didn't want everybody buying up those masks. I already see the face you're making, and I like it. I like it. But how are we supposed to trust him later on if he's giving these dates and he's not exactly sure? I understand that. He can't really predict the date. Why is he giving his dates? Why is he talking about himself in the third person? You can answer.
So I have to say, I agree with some of what you're saying. I think in the beginning, there were a lot of mess ups. And I think we have to acknowledge that. We have to know these people are human and they made a mistake. But they did it with the right intention, which was to protect the people that were the most vulnerable, which were in the hospitals where they needed the personal protective equipment. Again, what he's doing right now is with the right intention, which is to motivate people. If I told you guys, I don't know when this thing is going to be over, which I just did, what's going to happen to your morale? Right. What's going to happen to your will to fight? So it's sort of like a general leading an army. You have to motivate your troops to do the right thing, and I think that's what he's trying to do here.
All right, well said. We also want to get your take on this. So a group of doctors in Florida walked out in protest yesterday. There they are. So Dr. Coley, they say they are exhausted and their patients and resources are running low. Now, they are protesting all of the unvaccinated patients that they are treating, and they're hoping the walkout will encourage more people to go and get vaccinated. What's your take on that?
You guys, I wish I had been invited to this protest because I would have 100% gone. I am with all these doctors out there. I'm tired. I'm frustrated. I'm angry. I'm also sad. I'm sad that people are making the wrong decision based on misinformation when we have the solution right in front of us. The vaccines are what we've got. We've got nothing else. So I really hope that this sends a clear message from the people who are really fighting in the trenches, literally at the front lines, that go and get vaccinated. And I think what this is suggesting also is that doctors are starting to have more sympathy for those that are vaccinated, as we've seen with other doctors that refuse to treat patients that are unvaccinated. So if you continue to remain unvaccinated, even your physician, your medical provider may start to lose that compassion and have that compassion fatigue. So keep that in mind when you make that decision.
That's honest.
Really great information as always, Dr. Coley. Thank you. All right, so coming up on DBL, should grown-up kids
pay their parents if they are still living with them, why some people say adult children should not be getting a free ride, and his bodyguard resume includes everyone from Michael Jackson to Kendall Jenner. We're talking with Simon Newton all about what it's like protecting Hollywood's elite. Plus, was Ben Affleck really ring shopping for J-Lo? Okay, we'll tell you where Ben was spotted.
Closed captioning provided by
Hi, DBL Nation. Happy Tuesday. It's Kelly Schubert here with the DBL Digital team. We are continuing the conversation with Dr. Coley over here. Dr. Coley, I had some good news for you. You did? So I went to Walgreens yesterday to pick up my prescription, and there were so many people in line to get their vaccine. I know, it made me so happy because I've been to, Walgreens obviously multiple times, and I think after the FDA approval yesterday, people were actually like, maybe I should go get it. So I thought that was some good news I just wanted to share with you.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that.
I know,
Kelly.
right?
Yes.
It's just a good thing. People are actually listening, starting to get vaccinated. I mean, for me, I got vaccinated right away, but I know some of our viewers write in and they weren't ready to get vaccinated, and I think for some of them it's changing it too. So good news there.
We've got more FDA approvals coming with Moderna,
exactly.
maybe Johnson & Johnson.
Yeah, okay, great. Because I know some people with Johnson & Johnson, they're kind of confused. They're like, should I get a booster? Should I not? With FDA approval. So with that, fingers crossed, hopefully it'll come soon, and we'll keep you updated, DBL Nation. Let us know what you think. We've got a lot going on here at Daily Blast Live today. Let us know your opinions. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Guys.
Welcome back to DBL. Erica is here joining us.
Hey, y'all. Hey. Happy to be here.
Yeah. She's brought her energy with her. Okay, so yesterday we talked about celebs saying goodbye to their kids, heading off to college, including Brooke Shields and Candace Cameron Bure. They both posted pictures of it on social media. But what happens when adult kids don't leave, huh? There was a Reddit post about this that's gone viral. It was written by a 21-year-old who got a raise at work, and his parents demanded he pay $350 a week for a room he shares with his younger brother. So is this unfair? We want to hear from you. So the question again is, should parents charge adult kids rent? Yes or no? Go to dblvote.com to weigh in. Erica?
Yeah, this is kind of loaded because we understand that there are people who are caregivers, and of course that's appreciated. And also, a lot of parents take pride in the idea that they can give their child a head start in a way that they may not have received. I think when you have a situation where it's like, you know what, I have this amount of student loan debt and I may have gotten a little over my head on credit cards, let me move home, pay this off, and then go about in the world. I don't think there's anything wrong with being like, hey, here's $100 for the cell phone bill, or here's whatever it is for whatever it is. So I'm kind of in between on this.
Well, I just, we all had that period in our 20s where some of us went out and got apartments and moved kind of away from home. We had friends that were like, I'm going to go back home and save money. And you're like, good for you. Yeah. And then you go back home to visit for Thanksgiving and they're buying drinks for everybody at the bar because they've been saving their money, but it really just kind of gets filtered back into the bar because you get comfortable. Somebody's folding your laundry, somebody's making you breakfast. You kind of go back into 10th grade mode of whatever you are, unless you're a very driven person. I do get that we are in a period now where millennials and Gen Zers have an incredible amount of student loan debt, but it's very hard to focus. And I think unless it's a dire situation, I think you need to move out. I think you might incentivize that by throw some D's on it. You know what I'm saying? In terms of like make them pay something. It was a hip hop song like 15 years ago.
Yeah, I know that song. Throw some D's on it.
There we go. I don't know about that.
Go ahead.
How did we get to rims?
I know. That's not what we're talking about at all.
Make them pay a little something if they're going to stay, and that will incentivize them to leave and get their own place. If you're staying somewhere for free, why would you leave?
How about you don't allow them to stay with you? I get it in a really difficult situation.
If Sophie wanted to stay, you would say no?
I would hope that I raised her in a way, again, I'm not talking about specific unique situations, but I would hope that I would raise her in a way where she wouldn't need to fall back on mom and dad, where she would pull herself up from the bootstraps and make things work, whether she had 1 job, 2 jobs, 3 jobs. We've all been there. We all hustled in college to pay the bills. I never asked my mom and dad to pay. I went out and got another job, and I feel strongly about that. I think you're enabling the kid.
When she looks at you with those eyes and says, I need a place to stay for 6 months, it's hard to say no.
In the Italian culture, you stay home till you're married.
Yeah.
No, that's how the women. But it's so funny how like people look at this. It's like, oh, what a loser! You live in your mom's basement. I had to go home and live in my parents' basement after I failed in Los Angeles. They helped me get back on my feet. So it's not always a bad thing. You're not always a loser. But if you're not doing anything, you're not folding your own laundry. You got to get out, or at least got to learn a lesson from it, you know?
Yeah. But it depends on how you're wired. If you're there to reset like you were and move out, that's one thing. But if you see somebody getting comfortable, they start getting their mail sent there, they start complaining, you're like, Mom, keep it down, I'm gaming. Like, then it's time to like put a rent on it so they get out.
Or throwing D's on it.
Yeah, throw some D's on it.
Okay. All right, so our viewers say 73% of you say yes, they should have to pay rent. All right, coming up on DBL, our interview with celebrity bodyguard Simon Newton, what it's like making sure A-list stars are safe.
A new report from T-Mobile says hackers have compromised more than 50 million of their accounts. The hackers gained access to everything from names and addresses to account PINs and social security numbers. And it's not just current customers. Former customers and anyone who's applied for an account could have been targeted. T-Mobile says they're working with law enforcement and taking steps to protect affected customers, but there are some things you can do to stay vigilant. First, change your passwords on the affected accounts. Once you've done that, keep an eye on your bank statements and credit reports. And remember, you can still get free weekly reports from all 3 credit bureaus. If you see any suspicious activity, you can freeze your credit, which will make it tougher for hackers to open new accounts with your stolen information. We know all this may seem like a lot of work, but when it comes to securing your personal info, putting in the effort now can make a big difference down the line.
Welcome back to DBL. For many A-list stars, the price of fame includes superfans and stalkers. Ex-bodyguard Simon Newton is sharing details about the A-list supermodels and pop stars he once protected in today's DBL Spotlight.
Simon, welcome to DBL. Although you have caught the acting bug, you've worked closely with some of the biggest stars as a bodyguard. Now, Michael Jackson was your first celebrity client, so I want to know, what were you doing before you got that call?
Going back a little bit, I was in the military, British Army, but I was already working as a bodyguard in the Middle East at the time for American Oil Company and then a little bit for the British government, and around that time is when I got the call for Michael Jackson.
During the time you worked for the King of Pop, he covered his children's faces to protect them. How did that affect your job?
It didn't affect it massively, but I think as the children got older, it made it a lot harder for the security teams because when they covered the face, everyone wanted that first photo, and I think that everybody knew at some stage they was going to get one. It kind of did draw a lot more attention to the children. Obviously, Michael did that to them pretty much from birth, really, so no one ever got to see their faces at all. I did that job in 2006, so they were still quite young then, so photographs were still very sought after.
All right, you said the greatest threat to celebrities are actually stalkers. And I want to know, how do you spot the difference between just like a super fan and a dangerous stalker?
Normally, unfortunately, with stalkers, mental health's often connected with it. But I think super fans are all T-shirts, balloons, nice gifts, and they're just kind of always there, whereas stalkers, obviously, they're there all the time. Sometimes the gifts aren't so nice. They also often seem to have some sort of, or believe they have some sort of physical attachment, whether it's boyfriend, girlfriend, married, brother, sister, or maybe went to school together. They always seem to have that some sort of physical attachment.
What's the most dangerous place as a bodyguard for you to be in? Is it that situation where you're going from like the concert venue to the car?
Yeah, is it like a walk-up?
Yeah, is it like an outdoor situation, or is it like you trying to get to the elevator and it's an enclosed situation?
Normally, the most vulnerable points are from leaving a place to the vehicle or leaving the vehicle to go into a place. And obviously we try and minimise that risk, so if we can go back of house or to an underground car park and cut that out, we will.
I have to have a back door for everywhere I go with so many fans, just so many.
There was one guy.
There was one man.
And
it was my dad.
He was just parking next to you. He didn't know who you were.
Other than Michael Jackson, what celebrity client presented you with the greatest challenge?
Good question.
Probably Kendall Jenner or Bella Hadid, mainly because of their sort of model presence. They're very, I mean, the pair of them are probably some of the most packed models today.
It's weird because you think of the Jenners really specifically and the Kardashians, and there's a magnetic sense of just people come from everywhere for those people just for the Instagram pic. Am I right?
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's not just, I mean, some people are not even sure
who they are,
you know, what it is or what they do. But they just see them on social media, so they know. You know, there's loads of different ways you can know celebrities these days other than seeing them for actually the thing they do now.
All right, so before we go, we got to ask a speed round of questions and have you quickly answer. All right, with the name of a former celebrity client. Are you ready? Who is the nicest celebrity you worked with?
Bella Hadid.
Bella Hadid, that's good to hear.
Well, this is speed, so that means you can't have commentary after every answer he gets.
Go.
Who was the biggest diva?
Biggest Naomi Campbell.
Who smells the best, without thinking about it?
That's a tough one. I've never really been on a job where I felt like I needed to start sniffing the people I was looking after. But,
Simon, thank you so much for joining us. We'll also keep an eye out for you on the big screen. Keep us posted. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
This is the CMS exemption form that every parent can request to fill out for their child. You can see on this form that there are 3 exemptions: medical, behavioral, or developmental. However, many parents have asked us if CMS will accept any other reasons for not wearing a mask. Let's verify. Our sources, CMS and Gary Monty, attorney and managing partner at Monty PLLC. The CMS exemption form for the 2021-2022 school year states exemptions from wearing a face covering due to medical, developmental, or behavioral reasons require certification by a medical provider. It goes on to say that parents and the medical provider need to fill out the form. Many people have wondered if religious exemptions would be allowed. We reached out to CMS and asked if students could be exempt for any other reason than what's on the sheet. In an email, CMS told us the exemptions are spelled out on the form, so we can verify that no, religious exemptions are not included on the CMS form. However, attorney Gary Monty says religious exemptions, though not on the form, could hold up in court if a person was not wearing a mask.
I would say that the 3 exemptions that the CMS, the school system, has put down are probably the exceptions that would be considered the standard. However, there's always, room for a court to say, hey, there are religious exceptions that ought to be applied, and a judge, a court, a jury could decide that.
However, Monty says parents need to keep their children home if their kids are showing symptoms.
If the child was exhibiting symptoms or had been exposed to someone with COVID and you sent them to school, then certainly you would still probably be held liable for that, irrespective of the religious exemption.
The form does state students exempt from wearing a face mask are required to quarantine for 14 days if they're in close contact with someone who tested positive, unless the student is fully vaccinated and symptom-free. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
Tomorrow on DBL, the murder of a young couple leaves a community on edge.
My son is in the basement tied up at his house. I just saw him through the window.
Don't miss this all-new True Crime Chronicles. Plus, the U.S. Secretary of Education will be here. What's being done to keep kids safe in schools? That's tomorrow on DBL.
Welcome back to DBL. Before we go, some sad news. Rolling Stones drummer Charlie Watts has died. Now, a spokesperson said Charlie passed away peacefully in a London hospital surrounded by family. Charlie, of course, had been with the Stones since 1963. He, along with Mick Jagger, Keith Richards, and Ronnie Wood, propelled the band to the top of the charts with songs like Brown Sugar, Start Me Up, and Jumpin' Jack Flash. Charlie had to drop out of the upcoming No Filter tour earlier this month because he was recovering from a medical procedure. He was 80. Wow, what a legend right there.
Yeah, but I just don't know how sad it is. I mean, 80 years being the Rolling Stones drummer, that's a win in my book. I'll take that behind whatever's behind door number 2. What a life, what an artist, what a career. He should be celebrated.
So true. And our thoughts and prayers with his friends and family. If you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show online. Watch on YouTube, dailyblastlive.com, or our DBL mobile app. But if you're sticking around, here's what's coming up. New information about the Bill and Monica scandal series. Will they include some of the most infamous moments in the show? And is Bennifer headed to the altar? Find out where Ben was spotted, potentially shopping for rings.
Start of the pandemic, it seemed like plastic barriers went up everywhere. So why are some experts saying it's time to take them down? Let's connect the dots. New research suggests that plastic barriers are not that effective at stopping COVID-19. In fact, they may be making some situations worse. You know the virus spreads through small particles in the air. Good airflow and ventilation can help get rid of them. Now scientists tell the New York Times those plastic barriers can actually cut off the airflow in a room, trapping virus particles in concentrated areas. And those shields aren't blocking as many germs as you may think. Plastic can be great for stopping something like a cough or a sneeze, but it does very little to stop the virus particles an infected person emits just by breathing. Those particles are going to waft over and under the barrier, often in a more concentrated way. These new findings have big implications for the school year. In fact, a study from Johns Hopkins suggests classrooms with screens on desks actually had an increased risk of coronavirus infection. Researchers say schools should instead focus on improving airflow, wearing masks, and encouraging vaccinations to keep COVID out of the classroom. And that is Connecting the Dots.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to DBL. I'm Sam here with Al, Jeff, and Erica. Let's get started. Okay, so is Ben Affleck ready to put a ring on it? Ben was spotted outside Tiffany's in LA looking at rings and taking notes, along with his son and his mom. So could another proposal to J-Lo be around the corner? Back in 2002, if you remember, Ben gave Jen a 6.1 carat diamond ring. It was reportedly worth $2.5 million. But as we know, the engagement ended when they called it off a year later. So most recently, Jen was engaged to A-Rod. She reportedly may still have that 15 carat diamond ring he gave her. So if Ben does propose, it would be Jen's 6th engagement. Do you think that Erica Ben is, look at Erica's face, just go. Just go, girl.
Y'all really think that Ben Affleck is window shopping at Tiffany's in contemplation of an engagement to J-Lo? Y'all really think that? That's the story we're going with.
I'm back.
That's the story we're going with. That he's window shopping at Tiffany's, that there's not like a diamond broker who actually comes to his bat cave and is like, hey, here are all of the different cuts and all the clarities and all the whatever. He at Tiffany's with a piece of paper taking notes with his mama. Okay.
So is he trolling us? What's happening then?
I don't know if he's trolling us, but I will say this. After the 15 carat, you can't go much higher. So how about we take it back to the old school? Go to Tiffany, go to Zales, go to the mall. Hey, we're gonna be real people. J-Lo can have anything she wants. Well, we're gonna go to the Hood Mall.
Oh, he wants to be like common folks, so he also can pay 40% over wholesale.
Let's go get that.
Got it.
Yes.
Got it.
Well, apparently this is going to be her, well, not apparently, this will be her 6th ring if she gets it. But we don't know if she returned that. Remember that canary one? It's still alleged that she kept it. She allegedly still didn't return A-Rod's ring. So Jenny from the block is now pocketing some rocks.
She said, don't be fooled by the rocks that she got.
Yeah, well, now she's got 5 of them, about to be 6.
We don't know if she kept those.
Wait, what's wrong with Tiffany's? Why are we comparing Tiffany's to Zales and like K's?
What's wrong with Zales?
Good point.
Oh, little elitist over here.
Not at all.
Every
I thought
kiss
Tiffany's
begins with K.
No, I'm surprised that, like, yes, I agree that someone at the stature of Ben Affleck is not even going to window shop. He's going to keep that private. So I think he may have been purchasing something for somebody else. Maybe he's doing research for a role where he's like, I don't know, a diamond buyer. I don't understand.
Wow, it's gonna be I can't wait for his new movie. He's a window shopper. That's going to be super exciting.
I need to method act this. How do people go into the stores and purchase things? Okay, cash for goods.
I didn't say Tiffany's as if Tiffany's was less than. I was saying that if you're going to go to a retailer, you're going to pay 40% more than a wholesaler, which he is in a position to buy wholesale.
Don't they go to like Jacob Jeweler or something, right?
Somebody come to them, Sam.
Okay.
We don't even see that.
Okay. All right. So Beanie Feldstein says she got out of her comfort zone to play Monica Lewinsky. Beanie is playing the former White House intern in the upcoming FX series Impeachment: American Crime Story. In an interview with W Magazine, Beanie said as a queer woman, it was out of her comfort zone to play Monica, but also said if she was in Monica's shoes, she would have done the exact same thing. And the show's writer told The Wrap that the series will not include any of the sex scenes between Bill and Monica. The reason, she said, was because enough of the public already knows the graphic details of what went on. Okay, Jeff.
So sad. So sad, because I asked that question like a disgusting pervert if they were going to put that in there. And I thought they would, because I don't need to see what happened. We all know what happened, but I'd like to see where it happened. Did it happen in the Oval Office? Was it on the desk? Was it? We know. You know what I mean?
Was he on the phone?
Right. What had happened? So that's what I want to know. So I am kind of disappointed we're not going to see that, but I am excited to see her side of the story. And we're going to get Erica's take next. But I do want to go back to Beanie. If I were in Monica's shoes, I would do the exact same thing. That's kind of a strange answer, don't you think?
I think it's honest. Erica, do you think? I mean, it's the most powerful person in the world, and they're coming on to you.
But if you ask Monica Lewinsky that, would she have done that given a second chance? I would say absolutely not. I would say that kind of ruined her life in some sense.
I didn't take it as the actual acts with the president. I took it as she would have done the same things in terms of confiding in someone who she thought was, actually trying to help her.
You weren't talking about the sexual part of it?
I didn't pick that up.
Oh, I did.
Thought it was
That's
the
what I thought it
sexual.
was.
I thought it was sexual.
I thought that she was talking about the moves that she made. So, because also you have to consider, when we talked about this story, when we first found out that Monica was actually one of the producers of it and we're getting her side for once, I was called everything but the child of God for saying that I was defending, in some respect, Monica Lewinsky, because Beanie is also of an era where women aren't doing that anymore. They're like, nah, my older sister dealt with this stuff. My mama dealt with this. My grandmother dealt with that. We said no from jump. And so I think that their perspective is a lot different, especially when it comes to scapegoating a young woman. And the idea that people who were, especially women, 2-3 times the age of this woman, going after her the way that she was gone after. And I'm not saying she was innocent. I'm just saying that, honestly, the punishment didn't fit the crime. And that was ridiculous. And I'm glad that people are still talking about it. And I hope that she gets vindicated in some way by this story.
But that's my point. Why would you go back and do that if you knew all that scrutiny was coming your way?
But
That's
she's
just an interesting point.
But now it's done. So now she's has the most intimate knowledge of any of us because she's playing Monica.
Again, I'm just confused.
We'll have to
Why
watch
would you
it.
do that? Never mind.
We'll have to watch it.
Where did it happen?
That's what I want to know.
All right, so it looks like the decades-old feud between Kanye West and Drake is heating up yet again. So first, Drake recently took a shot at Kanye in the new Trippie Redd song, Betrayal. Then Kanye fired back and called Drake a nerd bleep jock on Instagram. Kanye also took it a step further and posted Drake's address on social media. But a lot of you are wondering, is this all a plan for them to get attention for their upcoming albums? They're both expected to drop on Friday. So speaking of which, Kanye is holding another listening party for his album Donda in Chicago on Thursday and is recreating his childhood home at Soldier Field.
Bears.
There you go.
What do you think of the feud? I
don't
believe it?
You know, it may be for publicity, but Drake has already had a less popular, in terms of mainstream, feud with somebody else, another rapper named Pusha T, in which he came out and told people that Drake had a child that he had not addressed. It was very personal, and it was not the kind of publicity that you want. And when you do get in these rap feuds that are not, for show, they get very personal. We've seen that they can go left in terms of violence. So I don't know if this is the direction that you would go for publicity. I think that there may have been something brewing for a long time. And like they say, there can only be one Highlander, and the people at the top, they fight to see who's at the top of the food chain, and maybe it's between Drake and Kanye.
We're being had.
You think?
Do you think so?
I absolutely know so. Come on.
Really?
So when Kanye and 50 Cent had their feud back in the day, in the early 2000s, the most units sold previous to that year was around 700,000. When they actually had a feud back and forth, they both hit about 1 million units sold, which was the most that any artist had in the past year. The months and weeks leading up to those albums being released, they went to every single radio station, the one I was at included. They talked the talk, and we held the, and then when Kanye was here, he said that, but it was like a whole thing. And what happened in the end? There were two winners, Kanye and 50 Cent. So yeah, I think we play into this, and I think people get really excited about it. I didn't think it was right from the Dox's house, though. I mean, you can't be telling people what people
That's what made me think that this wasn't
Why can't both be true? Why can't they have, beef between one another, but at the same time, they're like, let's capitalize on it?
I like Erica blowing up all of our stories with like personal intel, and I'm like, where did Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky get down? That's my contribution to the show. But like, I think you're right. I think it's kind of, we've seen this in the past. A lot of artists, whatever they are, they go after each other and their record sales go through the roof, right? That being said, I love what Kanye's doing. He's recreating his house in Soldier Field, which he grew up on the west side of Chicago. Imagine that feeling for him, putting his house as a childhood home and the dream of one day perhaps performing at Soldier Field and then having the house. And I think it's artistry, and it's so cool to me.
Yeah.
I love that.
It gives me chills actually thinking about that. When you put it that way,
yeah,
unbelievable. All right, so coming up on DBL, the fabulous Loretta Devine is joining us live. Look, there she is. We can't wait to talk with her. Coming up next.
Closed captioning provided by
All right, Al. So after hearing some of Erica and what she said and some of my points, you still believe that they really have a beef?
Yeah, I just think that rap beef there's two different kinds. There's kinds that, like, no disrespect, but like, mainstream knows about, and then there are people that are into the culture and into the music. And yes, there could be some kind of like I do believe the Kanye 50 Cent was manufactured. But if you and I were manufacturing beef to get ready to get interest for year 5 that we're starting, we would say weird things and maybe even attack. Yeah. But I wouldn't post a picture of your wife in front of your house and being like, this is where Jeff. Yeah, that's like taking it to a different place. And if they're that desperate, then I'll stand corrected. But that move right there really
I think it all boils down to like the Kim Kardashian drama with Drake.
Yeah, I
or
think
alleged
didn't Drake,
relationship.
So I think there's a lot of
and the song
personal
Kiki,
stuff.
Right?
Yeah.
Isn't that the answer though? Like if that address is real and it's really Drake's house and that's where he's staying, isn't that the answer if it's beef or not?
I would think so.
Because if people are really going there.
Imagine if I told the whole world where you live.
Well, do you ever some people that you don't get along with in your past or whatever, you're like, man, I really don't like that person. I hope they don't put my phone number on social media because we had the same number forever. Yeah. It crosses my mind sometimes.
Yeah, it's a very transgressive move. And I think once you take it there, I think it goes past like propaganda or production into even maybe something that did start off to be manufactured, but like, it's like we could be joking around, but like you make one comment about my mom or my kids or your wife, and now we're doing something different. So that's what I'm saying.
But if we're on the same page, and not saying mamas, but if you're on the same page and it's a marketing ploy, it's worked in the past.
Yeah.
It definitely has.
Doesn't hurt?
I think we're done.
Would you like to have dinner with us tonight? It's just leftovers. Collard greens and cornbread, some candied yams, a little potato salad, fried chicken, peach cobbler, fruit slices of ham. I have no business eating it myself, big as I am.
I like that. I like a woman with a little meat on her bones,
Yes! It's an original Dream Girl. Erica was literally like repeating the entire scene. And of course, she stole scenes in the groundbreaking film, Waiting to Exhale. But you can breathe now because Emmy Award-winning actress Loretta Devine joins us live.
Yes.
Oh my God. Welcome and happy birthday. Did we hear that your birthday just happened? How did you celebrate?
Yes, by working. I celebrated by working.
Well, we love a queen who hustles, Miss Loretta. Thank you so much for being here. I am such a fan. I remember going to see Wait and Exhale with my mom in the movie theaters, and it was like a bonding moment, and I watch it about once a month, so I am here for you. I thought it was really interesting because I heard that you were asked to gain weight for your role in Wait and Exhale. Would you ever do that again?
No, I don't have to. I gained all the weight I need.
Stop.
No, I wouldn't do it again. I don't think I'll ever need to do that again.
Well, I have to ask you, you were in the original cast of Dreamgirls on Broadway with friend of the show, my personal friend, Sheryl Lee Ralph. She is a queen, and that was 40 years ago, and you've been working ever since, but you call yourself a late bloomer. How do you do that? You are a current bloomer. You were currently a star.
Well, when I started, everyone thought I was maybe 10 years older than everyone thought I was. So that's what I mean by a late bloomer. You get to the whole thing late, but you get to it.
Look at her at the Jerry Lewis Telethon. You see her at the Jerry Lewis Telethon? Wow.
What a career in show business.
Unbelievable.
Does that bring back some memories?
Oh my God, yes it does. When I talk to Sheryl Lee, and it's just, we can't believe it's been 40 years. I mean, it passed so fast, and that's what's so great about life. It just zooms right by, and you look up, and here we are, you know?
Loretta, I love behind-the-scenes stuff, and you talk about your journey to becoming an award-winning actress in TV1's Uncensored. So tell us a little bit about that shady letter you got back in the day, your teacher wrote, and how it impacted your career.
Well, you know, it's just important that people do or don't believe in you. And sometimes when people don't believe in you, it's more of a force to move you forward than when people do. So it was that sort of thing. And Uncensored was very nerve-wracking for me because I don't like to talk about myself because half the time I can't remember what happened. And the other half, I'm afraid I'm going to out somebody that's going to kill me.
Oh, no.
That's honest.
Well, Miss Loretta, of course, I've been a fan of yours for a long time, but now I'm really into the Netflix show Family Reunion, where you play an old school grandmother in the Netflix show. So for all the grandmothers watching right now, what will they relate to the most about your character?
Oh, I think my character's like Superwoman in this show. They have me doing things that are just unbelievable. And sometimes they bring in stunt doubles that can't even do the stuff that they dreamed up. It's a wonderful show. It's coming back out on August 26th. We have 7 new shows that are coming on Netflix for Family Reunion. The kids are growing up in front of our eyes, doing incredible things. I think people are going to be amazed by some of the new shows we're doing.
Well, one of my favorites was the Uncle Charlie episode.
Loretta, while we have you here, I have to steal you and I have to ask this question because honestly, you've worked with everybody, and I saw you, obviously on Waiting to Exhale with the late great Gregory Hines. Yeah. Was there anybody throughout your career that you worked with where you were just blown away by just their natural talent?
Oh, it happens all the time, I think, for me. The kids that are in Family Reunion are just absolutely so talented across the board. They do everything, and they do it well. It's just amazing how I think everybody that's coming into the business now, they've watched the people that are in the business. They can do what they do and more. I mean, and add that extra bounce or that extra flavor to it. So, it's almost a thing of keep up. You've got to, because the internet is there. There are all these other things that are going on beside just, the 3 TV stations that were around when I started. Wow. There's streaming and doing all kinds of things that are brand new. And everybody's branding themselves and selling their power. So you have to learn how to do that. That's all new.
You don't need to.
You did a great job.
We all know who you are. You're a good girl. Loretta, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us, and we definitely look forward to seeing you on TV1's Uncensored. To our DBL Nation, make sure you watch it this Sunday. Thank you so much.
Come back and see us.
Yeah,
bye-bye.
10 o'clock. We'll be right back.
A new report from T-Mobile says hackers have compromised more than 50 million of their accounts. The hackers gained access to everything from names and addresses to account PINs and social security numbers. And it's not just current customers. Former customers and anyone who's applied for an account could have been targeted. T-Mobile says they're working with law enforcement and taking steps to protect affected customers, but there are some things you can do to stay vigilant. First, change your passwords on the affected accounts. Once you've done that, keep an eye on your bank statements and credit reports. And remember, you can still get free weekly reports from all 3 credit bureaus. If you see any suspicious activity, you can freeze your credit, which will make it tougher for hackers to open new accounts with your stolen information. We know all this may seem like a lot of work, but when it comes to securing your personal info, putting in the effort now can make a big difference down the line.
Welcome back to DBL. After an 8-year-old heard about a tragedy from the local news, she took matters into her own hands to help the victims' families. That's today's Heart Threads.
After witnessing a tragedy, this girl was moved to turn lemons into lemonade. One night, 8-year-old Faith was watching the news and saw 4 people die at the Faster Horses Music Festival.
She said she couldn't sleep because she was just thinking about how sad their parents were.
That night, Faith dreamed about a lemonade stand, so she took her mom's phone and shared the dream on Facebook.
I woke up to people talking about a lemonade stand and helping me with a lemonade stand. I actually thought that I made a status in my sleep about starting a lemonade stand, or I was dreaming. I was really like, what happened here?
Faith's mom wasn't dreaming. They received an outpouring of support. The first donation came from Faith herself.
I had $28 in my piggy bank, so I decided to donate all that $28, but I was saving up for a skateboard.
After 4 days, Faith raised $1,008. All of the money raised went directly to the families.
And my parents said, "Why did you do that?" So I said, "One good deed starts a chain reaction."
What an exceptional young girl. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Cms Exemption Form that every parent can request to fill out for their child. You can see on this form that there are 3 exemptions: medical, behavioral, or developmental. However, many parents have asked us if CMS will accept any other reasons for not wearing a mask. Let's verify. Our sources, CMS and Gary Monty, attorney and managing partner at Monty PLLC. The CMS exemption form for the 2021-2022 school year states exemptions from wearing a face covering due to medical, developmental, or behavioral reasons require certification by a medical provider. It goes on to say that parents and the medical provider need to fill out the form. Many people have wondered if religious exemptions would be allowed. We reached out to CMS and asked if students could be exempt for any other reason than what's on the sheet. In an email, CMS told us the exemptions are spelled out on the form, so we can verify that no, religious exemptions are not included on the CMS form. However, attorney Gary Monty says religious exemptions, though not on the form, could hold up in court if a person was not wearing a mask.
I would say that the 3 exemptions that the CMS, the school system, has put down are probably the exceptions that would be considered the standard. However, there's always room for a court to say, hey, there are religious exceptions that ought to be applied, and a judge, a court, a jury could decide that.
However, Monty says parents need to keep their children home if their kids are showing symptoms.
If the child was exhibiting symptoms or had been exposed to someone with COVID and you sent them to school, then certainly you would still probably be held liable for that, irrespective of the religious exemption.
The form does state students exempt from wearing a face mask are required to quarantine for 14 days if they're in close contact with someone who tested positive, unless the student is fully vaccinated and symptom-free. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
Welcome back to DBL. Have you ever wondered why some couples dress alike? Well, Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union are often seen out coordinating their outfits and style. And who can forget Gwyneth Paltrow and Brad Pitt, who also sported matching clothes and haircuts.
Wow.
But a fashion psychologist says dressing like your partner shows you have a higher level of empathy. That's interesting, and means you are happy and content in the relationship. But it can also be unhealthy if you are just changing your style to please your partner.
You went from very happy to like, uh-oh.
Yes.
Because full transparency, we were talking about this in the break, and I said, you kind of dress like Mark, maybe we should do this story. And you...
No, we do not dress. We have similar style, but that's different. We have similar styles. We don't coordinate outfits.
You both look like you're about to go to a concert in '99.
What?
Yeah, you both are dressed like you're going to a concert in '99. Like literally, you should have tickets to Green Day in your hand. Soundgarden.
Oh, I love Green Day. I love Soundgarden.
Yes, we can tell
but
by your...
There's a difference between coordinating outfits, like the jean dress, like we saw with Britney Spears, and the jean outfit with Justin Timberlake, and you and your partner having similar styles. Mark and I both like punk rock and metal, so yeah, we're going to have similar styles. Doesn't mean that we coordinate. That's totally different.
Yeah, but you guys dress exactly alike.
What do you mean?
You wear each other's clothes. You do. You said no, and everyone in here was like, oh yeah, they totally dress, like not even a big deal.
I will borrow his band tees.
So yes, you do wear each other's clothes.
You don't ever wear Anthony's like oversized shirts or flannels or sweatshirts?
Be honest.
I wear some, generally when I wear Anthony's clothes though, I don't go out the door.
Oh, wow. I can't see Erica because all this shade over here.
I'm not saying anything bad about it. I love your style. I think that your style is great. It's perfect for you. I love it. I'm just saying I don't, but I do, actually, it's funny because I do coordinate Anthony's looks.
You do?
I
for what he
absolutely
wears.
Do
But they
you
don't wear
coordinate with Jordan?
Sometimes we do look alike.
You coordinate.
We don't coordinate. Sometimes we're just like, wow, we're matching for no reason. Listen, we're out of time. Grabs Mark's jacket and let's get out of here.
I can't. DBL's new every day. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye, guys.
At the start of the pandemic, it seemed like plastic barriers went up everywhere. So why are some experts saying it's time to take them down? Let's connect the dots. New research suggests that plastic barriers are not that effective at stopping COVID-19. In fact, they may be making some situations worse. We know the virus spreads through small particles in the air. Good airflow and ventilation can help get rid of them. Now scientists tell the New York Times those plastic barriers can actually cut off the airflow in a room, trapping virus particles in concentrated areas. And those shields aren't blocking as many germs as you may think. Plastic can be great for stopping something like a cough or a sneeze, but it does very little to stop the virus particles an infected person emits just by breathing. Those particles are going to waft over and under the barrier, often in a more concentrated way. These new findings have big implications for the school year. In fact, a study from Johns Hopkins suggests classrooms with screens on desks actually had an increased risk of coronavirus infection. Researchers say schools should instead focus on improving airflow, wearing masks, and encouraging vaccinations to keep COVID out of the classroom. And that is Connecting the Dots.
Here's what we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
Dr. Fauci predicts when we could get back to normal.
There's no guarantee because it's up to us.
Plus, a group of doctors walk out in protest of unvaccinated patients. Our medical expert is here to weigh in. Kids who haven't flown the coop, should parents be charging adult children rent? Actress Loretta Devine will be here live. And an A-list celebrity bodyguard, Simon Newton, with a resume including everyone from Naomi Campbell to Kendall Jenner to Michael Jackson.
When they covered the face, everyone wanted that first photo.
Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2. You see that, everybody? That was our senior executive producer, Bert, who forgets that we have a live show every day.
No, he should have forgotten. They said 10 seconds, and he just stood there like he was at the bus stop. That was
Al, where do you come up with your analogies? You're hilarious. Welcome to DBL, everybody. Yep, it is Tuesday, August 24th. I'm Sam here with Al, Jeff, and our very own Dr. Coley. All right, let's get started because all of you are talking about how the FDA granted full approval for the Pfizer vaccine, and now the president has a strong message for U.S. companies. Take a look.
Today, I'm calling on more companies, I should say, in the private sector to step up with vaccine requirements that'll reach millions more people. If you're a business leader, a nonprofit leader, a state or local leader who has been waiting for full FDA approval to require vaccinations, I call on you now to do that.
Okay, so thank goodness we have Dr. Coley here to answer our questions. Do you think the COVID vaccine will be just like other vaccines that are universally required for normal life?
I think it's already gotten there, guys. And I think the people that choose not to get the COVID vaccine are going to alienate themselves from society. They're going to cut themselves out of things. I had a friend who went to New York over the weekend, went to a Broadway show. To get into the show, you have to have your original vaccine card. To get into New York restaurants, you have to have your vaccine card. So if you choose not to get vaccinated, you are really alienating yourself from all the things that you love to do. And I really hope that people will start getting vaccinated because that's where we're headed.
Well, let's talk about the people that are saying, yeah, I'm not vaccinated, but I'm not an anti-vaxxer. It's just the fact that this is not FDA approved. So now that Pfizer has gotten the approval, do you think this will move those people that were on the fence to the side of the vaccinated?
I really hope so, Al. There were 30% of people that were saying that they're waiting for the FDA approval. It's a lot of people. What else I hope is that companies, even though I hate to use the stick rather than the carrot, will start mandating, because that's something that when people have consequences for not doing something, it motivates them to do it. And we're doing it in their best interest. The third piece of this is now that Pfizer is now fully FDA approved, it can start advertising. So you're going to see ads on TV about life with the vaccine. Yeah. And so you're going to reach those people who maybe had never really thought about life with the vaccine.
All right.
Doctorate and marketing degree.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. What about kids now, like mine? They're only 2 and 4, but what about kids under 12? When are they going to start getting vaccinated?
You know, I hope that comes soon, Jeff, but I'm worried that that timeline's getting pushed farther and farther back. Because remember, in order to get full FDA approval, this vaccine first had emergency use authorization based on the preliminary data. Now, what we heard from Dr. Fauci yesterday was that with kids, that risk-benefit ratio may not favor emergency use authorization. So we may want to wait for full approval for kids, which is going to take its time. So I'm hoping that it'll happen this fall for all you guys' kids, but I think it may happen next year even.
Well, let's keep talking about fall, and let's talk about the people, I'm assuming like us, that have had both shots and are getting ready for their booster shot. I've always wondered, maybe you guys know, I don't know, what is a booster shot? Is it just like the last shot that we got, or is it just a little bit more? Like, what is a booster shot?
So a booster shot can be either, but it's really a way to flex your immune system's muscle. So it's like going back to the gym with your personal trainer, right? You've been out of it for a little while, so your immune system, which maybe hasn't been activated, is starting to get a little lazy. So it's a way to boost your antibodies. It's a way to boost your immune fighting cells. And you can do mix and match boosters. So you can have one type of one booster, like a messenger RNA mixed with a DNA vaccine, so like a Pfizer and a Johnson & Johnson, but that's not what we're doing right now. What we're doing and what's really been put out there so far by the White House is the same manufacturer even, so Pfizer, Moderna, given about 6 to 8 months after the second dose in order to boost the antibodies and really augment that immune response. Now what we need to wait on, you guys, is whether this is safe. We know that it works. We know it works really well to boost those antibodies, but we need the FDA to greenlight it under emergency use authorization to know that it's also safe for us to get.
So we have a lot of our viewers that are asking questions. One, when will the pandemic be over? Speaking of which, Dr. Fauci, he originally estimated, and I want our viewers and for you to watch what he said, because now our viewers are accusing him of flip-flopping, right? So he originally said the coronavirus would still be a problem come fall of 2022. But if you look at this clip, he has a new estimate. Take a look, Dr. Coley.
I said if we can get through this winter and get really the overwhelming majority of the 90 million people who have not been vaccinated, I hope we could start to get some good control in the spring of 2022. I didn't mean the fall. I misspoke. My bad.
Okay, so Dr. Coley, did he flip-flop? According to some of our viewers, they believe he did.
A little bit, I would say yes. He's changing his timeline. He's changing his goalposts. But at the same time, I want to remind our viewers that there are a lot of moving parts here. And it's not like we have a crystal ball that tells us exactly what's going on. So think about it like you're playing a game. You're playing a football game, and not only is the goalpost changing, but the rules of the game are changing. So that's what's happened here. If everything had stayed the same, he might have been right, but Delta got introduced. Right. Americans decided not to get vaccinated. We have other countries that have new variants popping up that are intermixing with, travel back and forth. So all of these things are changing. So I would say probably the right thing to do was for him to not make a prediction. And that's what I've learned through this entire process, is that you have to be humbled and say you're wrong when you're wrong. But at the same time, you have to know what you know and what you don't know. We don't actually know when this is going to be over because there's too many moving parts. But the one thing that's definitely going to get us closer every single time, getting vaccinated.
Doc, let me ask you, a lot of people, Dr. Fauci rubs people the wrong way in some instances. I know you're a big fan, right? And, I want to listen to him as well. But from the beginning of this pandemic, I always had one question when he talked about the masks. He said, we don't need masks. And he lied on purpose because we didn't want everybody buying up those masks. I already see the face you're making, and I like it. I like it. But how are we supposed to trust him later on if he's giving these dates and he's not exactly sure? I understand that. He can't really predict a date. Why is he giving these dates? Why is he talking about himself in the third person? You can answer.
So I have to say, I agree with some of what you're saying. I think in the beginning, there were a lot of mess ups. And I think we have to acknowledge that. We have to know these people are human and they made a mistake. But they did it with the right intention, which was to protect the people that were the most vulnerable, which were in the hospitals where they needed the personal protective equipment. Again, what he's doing right now is with the right intention, which is to motivate people. If I told you guys, I don't know when this thing is going to be over, which I just did, what's going to happen to your morale? Right. What's going to happen to your will to fight? So it's sort of like a general leading an army. You have to motivate your troops to do the right thing, and I think that's what he's trying to do here.
All right, well said. We also want to get your take on this. So a group of doctors in Florida walked out in protest yesterday. There they are. So Dr. Coley, they say they are exhausted and their patients and resources are running low. Now they are protesting all of the unvaccinated patients that they are treating, and they're hoping the walkout will encourage more people to go and get vaccinated. What's your take on that?
You know, you guys, I wish I had been invited to this protest because I would have 100% gone. I am with all these doctors out there. I'm tired. I'm frustrated. I'm angry. I'm also sad. I'm sad that people are making the wrong decision based on misinformation when we have the solution right in front of us. The vaccines are what we've got. We've got nothing else. So I really hope that this sends a clear message from the people who are really fighting in the trenches, literally at the front lines, that go and get vaccinated. And I think what this is suggesting also is that doctors are starting to have more sympathy for those that are vaccinated, as we've seen with other doctors that refuse to treat patients that are unvaccinated. So if you continue to remain unvaccinated, even your physician, your medical provider may start to lose that compassion and have that compassion fatigue. So keep that in mind when you make that decision.
That's honest.
Really great information as always, Dr. Coley. Thank you. All right, so coming up on DBL, should grown-up kids pay their parents if they are still living with them? Why some people say adult children should not be getting a free ride. And his bodyguard resume includes everyone from Michael Jackson to Kendall Jenner. We're talking with Simon Newton all about what it's like protecting Hollywood's elite. Plus, was Ben Affleck really ring shopping for J-Lo? Okay, we'll tell you where Ben was spotted.
Closed captioning provided by
Hi DBL Nation, happy Tuesday. It's Kelly Schubert here with the DBL Digital team. We are continuing the conversation with Dr. Coley over here. Dr. Coley, I had some good news for you. You did? So I went to Walgreens yesterday to pick up my prescription, and there were so many people in line to get their vaccine. I know, it made me so happy because I've been to, Walgreens obviously multiple times, and I think after the FDA approval yesterday, people were actually like, maybe I should go get it. So I thought that was some good news I just wanted to share with you.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear
I know,
Kelly.
right?
Yes.
It's just a good thing. People are actually listening, starting to get vaccinated. I mean, for me, I got vaccinated right away, but I know some of our viewers write in and they weren't ready to get vaccinated, and I think for some of them it's changing it too. So good news there.
We've got more FDA approvals coming with Moderna,
exactly.
maybe Johnson & Johnson.
Yeah, okay, great. Because I know some people with Johnson & Johnson, they're kind of confused. They're like, should I get a booster? Should I not? With FDA approval. So with that, fingers crossed, hopefully it'll come soon, and we'll keep you updated, DBL Nation. Let us know what you think. We've got a lot going on here at Daily Blast Live today. Let us know your opinions. We'll see you soon. Bye, guys.
DBL is your daytime destination.
I get very excited.
I was excited with you.
Okay, thank you.
We are fired up.
I am feeling very disagreeable.
Educate yourself. Though I gotta push back because sometimes.
No, I won't accept that.
Check that.
And having fun.
You have 2 straws and a strawberry shake.
I felt it in my heart and in my soul. What's Jack thinking?
I don't want to get canceled.
DBL's all new every day. Welcome back to DBL. Erica is here joining us.
Hey, y'all. Hey. Happy to be here.
Yeah. She's brought her energy with her. Okay, so yesterday we talked about celebs saying goodbye to their kids, heading off to college, including Brooke Shields and Cameron Bure. They both posted pictures of it on social media. But what happens when adult kids don't leave, huh? There was a Reddit post about this that's gone viral. It was written by a 21-year-old who got a raise at work, and his parents demanded he pay $350 $50 a week for a room he shares with his younger brother. So is this unfair? We want to hear from you. So the question again is, should parents charge adult kids rent? Yes or no? Go to dblvote.com to weigh in. Erica?
Yeah, this is kind of loaded because we understand that there are people who are caregivers, and of course that's appreciated. And also, a lot of parents take pride in the idea that they can give their child a head start in a way that they may not have received. I think when you have a situation where it's like, you know what, I have this amount of student loan debt and I may have gotten a little over my head on credit cards, let me move home, pay this off, and then go about in the world. I don't think there's anything wrong with being like, hey, here's $100 for the cell phone bill, or here's whatever it is for whatever it is. So I'm kind of in between on this.
Well, I just, you know, we all had that period in our 20s where some of us went out and got apartments and moved kind of away from home. We had friends that were like, I'm going to go back home and save money. And you're like, good for you. Yeah. And then you go back home to visit for Thanksgiving and they're buying drinks for everybody at the bar because they've been saving their money. But it really just kind of gets filtered back into the bar because you get comfortable. Somebody's folding your laundry. Somebody's making you breakfast. You kind of go back into 10th grade mode of whatever you are, unless you're a very driven person. I do get that we are in a period now where millennials and Gen Zers have an incredible amount of student loan debt, but it's very hard to focus. And I think unless it's a dire situation, I think you need to move out. I think you might incentivize that by throw some D's on it. You know what I'm saying? In terms of like make them pay something. It was a hip hop song like 15 years ago.
Yeah, I know that song. Throw some D's on it.
There we go.
Okay.
I don't know about that.
Go ahead.
How did we get to rims?
I know. That's not what we're talking about at all.
Make them pay a little something if they're going to stay, and that will incentivize them to leave and get their own place. If you're staying somewhere for free, why would you leave?
How about you don't allow them to stay with you? I get it in a really difficult situation.
If Sophie wanted to stay, you would say no?
I would hope that I raised her in a way, again, I'm not talking about specific unique situations, but I would hope that I would raise her in a way where she wouldn't need to fall back on mom and dad, where she would pull herself up from the bootstraps and make things work, whether she had 1 job, 2 jobs, 3 jobs. We've all been there. We all hustled in college to pay the bills. I never asked my mom and dad to pay. I went out and got another job, and I feel strongly about that. I think you're enabling the kid.
When she looks at you with those eyes and says, I need a place to stay for 6 months, it's hard to say no.
In the Italian culture, you stay home till you're married.
Yeah.
No, that's how the women. But it's so funny how like people look at this. It's like, oh, what a loser! You live in your mom's basement. I had to go home and live in my parents' basement after I failed in Los Angeles. They helped me get back on my feet. So it's not always a bad thing. You're not always a loser. But if you're not doing anything, you're not folding your own laundry. You got to get out, or at least got to learn a lesson from it. You know?
Yeah. But it depends on how you're wired. If you're there to reset like you were and move out, that's one thing. But if you see somebody getting comfortable, they start getting their mail sent there, they start complaining, you're like, Mom, keep it down, I'm gaming. Like, then it's time to like put a rent on it so they get out.
Or throwing D's on it.
Yeah, throw some D's on it.
Okay. All right, so our viewers say 73% of you say yes, they should have to pay rent. All right, coming up on DBL, our interview with celebrity bodyguard Simon Newton, what it's like making sure A-list stars are safe.
If you're eligible...
A new report from T-Mobile says hackers have compromised more than 50 million of their accounts. The hackers gained access to everything from names and addresses to account PINs and social security numbers. And it's not just current customers. Former customers and anyone who's applied for an account could have been targeted. T-Mobile says they're working with law enforcement and taking steps to protect affected customers, but there are some things you can do to stay vigilant. First, change your passwords on the affected accounts. Once you've done that, keep an eye on your bank statements and credit reports. And remember, you can still get free weekly reports from all 3 credit bureaus. If you see any suspicious activity, you can freeze your credit, which will make it tougher for hackers to open new accounts with your stolen information. We know all this may seem like a lot of work, but when it comes to securing your personal info, putting in the effort now can make a big difference down the line.
Welcome back to DBL. For many A-list stars, the price of fame includes super fans and stalkers. Ex-bodyguard Simon Newton is sharing details about the A-list supermodels and pop stars he once protected in today's DBL Spotlight. Simon, welcome to DBL. Although you have caught the acting bug, you've worked closely with some of the biggest stars as a bodyguard. Now, Michael Jackson was your first celebrity client, so I want to know, what were you doing before you got that call?
Going back a little bit, I was in the military, British Army, but I was already working as a bodyguard in the Middle East at the time for American Oil Company and then a little bit for the British government, and around that time is when I got the call for Michael Jackson.
During the time you worked for the King of Pop, he covered his children's faces to protect them. How did that affect your job?
It didn't affect it massively, but I think as the children got older, it made it a lot harder for the security teams because when they covered the face, everyone wanted that first photo, and I think that everybody knew at some stage they was going to get one. It kind of did draw a lot more attention to the children. Obviously, Michael did that to them pretty much from birth, really, so no one ever got to see their faces at all. I did that job in 2006, so they were still quite young then, so photographs were still very sought after.
All right, you said the greatest threat to celebrities are actually stalkers. And I want to know, how do you spot the difference between just like a super fan and a dangerous stalker?
Normally, unfortunately, with stalkers, mental health's often connected with it. But I think super fans are all T-shirts, balloons, nice gifts, and they're just kind of always there, whereas stalkers, obviously, they're there all the time. Sometimes the gifts aren't so nice. They also often seem to have some sort of, or believe they have some sort of physical attachment, whether it's boyfriend, girlfriend, married, brother, sister, or maybe went to school together. They always seem to have that some sort of physical attachment.
What's the most dangerous place as a bodyguard for you to be in? Is it that situation where you're going from like the concert venue to the car?
Yeah, is it like a walk-up?
Yeah, is it like an outdoor situation, or is it like you trying to get to the elevator and it's an enclosed situation?
Normally, the most vulnerable points are from leaving a place to the vehicle or leaving the vehicle to go into a place. And obviously we try and minimise that risk, so if we can go back of house or to an underground car park and cut that out, we will.
I have to have a back door for everywhere I go with so many fans, just so many.
There was one guy.
There was one man.
And it
was my dad.
He was just parking next to you. He didn't know who you were.
True. Other than Michael Jackson, what celebrity client presented you with the greatest challenge?
Good question.
Probably Kendall Jenner or Bella Hadid, mainly because of their sort of model presence. They're very, I mean, the pair of them are probably some of the most packed models today.
It's weird because you think of the Jenners really specifically and the Kardashians, and there's a magnetic sense of just people come from everywhere for those people just for the Instagram pic. Am I right?
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's not just, I mean, some people are not even sure
who they are,
you know, what it is or what they do, but they just see them on social media, so they know. But, you know, there's loads of different ways you can know celebrities these days other than seeing them for actually the thing they do now.
All right, so before we go, we got to ask a speed round of questions and have you quickly answer. All right, with the name of a former celebrity client. Are you ready? Who is the nicest celebrity you worked with?
Bella Hadid.
Bella Hadid, that's good to hear.
Well, this is speed, so that means you can't have commentary after every answer he gets.
I'm sorry, go.
Who was the biggest diva?
Biggest Naomi Campbell.
Who smells the best, without thinking about it?
That's a tough one. I've never really been on a job where I felt like I needed to start sniffing the people I was looking after.
Simon, thank you so much for joining us. We'll also keep an eye out for you on the big screen. Keep us posted. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
This is the CMS Exemption Form that every parent can request to fill out for their child. You can see on this form that there are 3 exemptions: medical, behavioral, or developmental. However, many parents have asked us if CMS will accept any other reasons for not wearing a mask. Let's verify. Our sources, CMS and Gary Monty, attorney and managing partner at Monty PLLC. The CMS exemption form for the 2021-2022 school year states exemptions from wearing a face covering due to medical, developmental, or behavioral reasons require certification by a medical provider. It goes on to say that parents and the medical provider need to fill out the form. Many people have wondered if religious exemptions would be allowed. We reached out to CMS and asked if students could be exempt for any other reason than what's on the sheet. In an email, CMS told us the exemptions are spelled out on the form, so we can verify that no, religious exemptions are not included on the CMS form. However, attorney Gary Monty says religious exemptions, though not on the form, could hold up in court if a person was not wearing a mask.
I would say that the 3 exemptions that the CMS, the school system, has put down are probably the exceptions that would be considered the standard. However, there's always, room for a court to say, hey, there are religious exceptions that ought to be applied, and a judge, a court, a jury could decide that.
However, Monty says parents need to keep their children home if their kids are showing symptoms.
If the child was exhibiting symptoms or had been exposed to someone with COVID and you sent them to school, then certainly you would still probably be held liable for that, irrespective of the religious exemption.
The form does state students exempt from wearing a face mask are required to quarantine for 14 days if they're in close contact with someone who tested positive, unless the student is fully vaccinated and symptom-free. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
Tomorrow on DBL, the murder of a young couple leaves a community on edge.
My son is in the basement tied up at his house. I just saw him through the window.
Don't miss this all-new True Crime Chronicles. Plus, the U.S. Secretary of Education will be here. What's being done to keep kids safe in schools? That's tomorrow on DBL.
Welcome back to DBL. Before we go, some sad news. Rolling Stones drummer Charlie Watts has died. Now, a spokesperson said Charlie passed away peacefully in a London hospital surrounded by family. Charlie, of course, had been with the Stones since 1963. He, along with Mick Jagger, Keith Richards, and Ronnie Wood, propelled the band to the top of the charts with songs like Brown Sugar, Start Me Up, and Jumpin' Jack Flash. Charlie had to drop out of the upcoming No Filter tour earlier this month because he was recovering from a medical procedure. He was 80. Wow, what a legend right there.
Yeah, but I just don't know how sad it is. I mean, 80 years being the Rolling Stones drummer, that's a win in my book. I'll take that behind whatever's behind door number 2. What a life, what an artist, what a career. He should be celebrated.
So true. And our thoughts and prayers with his friends and family. If you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show online. Watch on YouTube, dailyblastlive.com, or our DBL mobile app. But if you're sticking around, here's what's coming up. New information about the Bill and Monica scandal series. Will they include some of the most infamous moments in the show? And is Bennifer headed to the altar? Find out where Ben was spotted, potentially shopping for rings.
Start of the pandemic, it seemed like plastic barriers went up everywhere. So why are some experts saying it's time to take them down? Let's connect the dots. New research suggests that plastic barriers are not that effective at stopping COVID-19. In fact, they may be making some situations worse. We know the virus spreads through small particles in the air. Good airflow and ventilation can help get rid of them. Now scientists tell the New York Times those plastic barriers can actually cut off airflow in a room, trapping virus particles in concentrated areas. And those shields aren't blocking as many germs as you may think. Plastic can be great for stopping something like a cough or a sneeze, but it does very little to stop the virus particles an infected person emits just by breathing. Those particles are going to waft over and under the barrier, often in a more concentrated way. These new findings have big implications for the school year. In fact, a study from Johns Hopkins suggests classrooms with screens on desks actually had an increased risk of coronavirus infection. Researchers say schools should instead focus on improving airflow, wearing masks, and encouraging vaccinations to keep COVID out of the classroom. And that is Connecting the Dots.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to DBL. I'm Sam here with Al, Jeff, and Erica. Let's get started. Okay, so is Ben Affleck ready to put a ring on it? Ben was spotted outside Tiffany's in LA looking at rings and taking notes along with his son and his mom. So could another proposal to J-Lo be around the corner? Back in 2002, if you remember, Ben gave Jen a 6.1 carat diamond ring. It was reportedly worth $2.5 million. But as we know, the engagement ended when they called it off a year later. So most recently, Jen was engaged to A-Rod. She reportedly may still have that 15 carat diamond ring he gave her. So if Ben does propose, it would be Jen's 6th engagement. Do you think that Erica Ben is, look at Erica's face, just go. Just go, girl.
Y'all really think that Ben Affleck is window shopping at Tiffany's in contemplation of an engagement to J-Lo? Y'all really think that? That's the story we're going with.
I'm back.
That's the story we're going with. That he's window shopping at Tiffany's, that there's not like a diamond broker who actually comes to his bat cave and is like, hey, here are all of the different cuts and all the clarities and all the whatever. He at Tiffany's with a piece of paper taking notes with his mama. Okay.
So is he trolling us? What's happening then?
I don't know if he's trolling us, but I will say this. After the 15 carat, you can't go much higher. So how about we take it back to the old school? Go to Tiffany, go to Zales, go to the mall. Hey, we're gonna be real people. J-Lo can have anything she wants. Well, we're gonna go to the Hood Mall.
Oh, he wants to be like common folks, so he also can pay 40% over wholesale.
Let's go get that.
Got it.
Yes.
Got it.
Well, apparently this is going to be her, well, not apparently, this will be her 6th ring if she gets it. But we don't know if she returned that. Remember that canary one? It's still alleged that she kept it. She allegedly still didn't return A-Rod's ring. So Jenny from the block is now pocketing some rocks.
She said, don't be fooled by the rocks that she got.
Yeah, well, now she's got 5 of them, about to be 6.
We don't know if she kept those.
Wait, what's wrong with Tiffany's? Why are we comparing Tiffany's to Zales and like K's?
What's wrong with Zales?
Good point.
Oh, little elitist over here.
Not at all.
Every
I thought
kiss
Tiffany's
begins with K.
No, I'm surprised that, like, yes, I agree that someone at the stature of Ben Affleck is not even going to window shop. He's going to keep that private. So I think he may have been purchasing something for somebody else. Maybe he's doing research for a role where he's like, I don't know, a diamond buyer. I don't understand.
Diamond buyer? It's gonna be I can't wait for his new movie. He's a window shopper. It's going to be super exciting.
I need to method act this. How do people go into the stores and purchase things? Okay, cash for goods.
I didn't say Tiffany's as if Tiffany's was less than. I was saying that if you're going to go to a retailer, you're going to pay 40% more than a wholesaler, which he is in a position to buy wholesale.
Don't they go to like Jacob Jeweler or something, right?
Somebody come to them, Sam.
Okay.
We don't even see that.
Okay. All right. So Beanie Feldstein says she got out of her comfort zone to play Monica Lewinsky. Beanie is playing the former White House intern in the upcoming FX series Impeachment: American Crime Story. In an interview with W Magazine, Beanie said as a queer woman, it was out of her comfort zone to play Monica, but also said if she was in Monica's shoes, she would have done the exact same thing. And the show's writer told The Wrap that the series will not include any of the sex scenes between Bill and Monica. The reason, she said, was because enough of the public already knows the graphic details of what went on. Okay, Jeff.
So sad. So sad, because I asked that question like a disgusting pervert if they were going to put that in there. And I thought they would, because I don't need to see what happened. We all know what happened, but I'd like to see where it happened. Did it happen in the Oval Office? Was it on the desk? Was it? We know. You know what I mean?
Was he on the phone?
Right. What had happened? So that's what I want to know. So I am kind of disappointed we're not going to see that, but I am excited to see her side of the story. And we're going to get Erica's take next. But I do want to go back to Beanie. If I were in Monica's shoes, I would do the exact same thing. That's kind of a strange answer, don't you think?
I think it's honest. Erica, do you think? I mean, it's the most powerful person in the world, and they're coming on to you.
But if you ask Monica Lewinsky that, would she have done that given a second chance? I would say absolutely not. I would say that kind of ruined her life in some sense.
I didn't take it as the actual acts with the president. I took it as she would have done the same things in terms of confiding in someone who she thought was, actually trying to help her.
You were talking about the sexual part of it?
I didn't pick that up.
Oh, I did.
Thought it was
That's
the
what
sexual.
I thought it was.
I thought it was sexual.
I thought that she was talking about the moves that she made. So, because also you have to consider, when we talked about this story when we first found out that Monica was actually one of the producers of it and we're getting her side for once, I was called everything but the child of God for saying that I was defending, in some respect, Monica Lewinsky, because Beanie is also of an era where women aren't doing that anymore. They're like, nah, my older sister dealt with this stuff. My mama dealt with this. My grandmother dealt with that. We said no from jump. And so I think that their perspective is a lot different, especially when it comes to scapegoating a young woman. And the idea that people who were, especially women, 2-3 times the age of this woman, going after her the way that she was gone after, and I'm not saying she was innocent. I'm just saying that, honestly, the punishment didn't fit the crime. And that was ridiculous. And I'm glad that people are still talking about it. And I hope that she gets vindicated in some way by this story.
But that's my point. Why would you go back and do that if you knew all that scrutiny was coming your way?
But
that's just an interesting point.
But now it's done. So now she's has the most intimate knowledge of any of us because she's playing Monica.
Again, I'm just confused.
We'll have to
Why
watch
would you
it.
do that? Never mind.
We'll have to watch it.
Where did it happen?
That's what I want to know.
All right, so it looks like the decades-old feud between Kanye West and Drake is heating up yet again. So first, Drake recently took a shot at Kanye in the new Trippie Redd song, Betrayal. Then Kanye fired back and called Drake a nerd bleep jock on Instagram. Kanye also took it a step further and posted Drake's address on social media. But a lot of you are wondering, is this all a plan for them to get attention for their upcoming albums? They're both expected to drop on Friday. So speaking of which, Kanye is holding another listening party for his album Donda in Chicago on Thursday and is recreating his childhood home at Soldier Field.
Bears.
There you go.
What do you think of the feud? You believe it?
You know, it may be for publicity, but Drake has already had a less popular, in terms of mainstream, feud with somebody else, another rapper named Pusha T, in which he came out and told people that Drake had a child that he had not addressed. It was very personal, and it was not the kind of publicity that you want. And when you do get in these rap feuds that are not, for show, they get very personal. We've seen that they can go left in terms of violence. So I don't know if this is the direction that you would go for publicity. I think that there may have been something brewing for a long time. And like they say, there can only be one Highlander, and the people at the top, they fight to see who's at the top of the food chain, and maybe it's between Drake and Kanye.
We're being had.
You think?
You think so?
I absolutely know so. Come on.
Really?
So when Kanye and 50 Cent had their feud back in the day in the early 2000s, the most units sold previous to that year was around 700,000. When they actually had a feud back and forth, they both hit about 1 million units sold, which was the most that any artist had in the past year. The months and weeks leading up to those albums being released, they went to every single radio station, the one I was at included. They talked the talk, and we held the, and then when Kanye was here, he said that, but it was like a whole thing. And what happened in the end? There were 2 winners, Kanye and 50 Cent. So yeah, I think we play into this, and I think people get really excited about it. I didn't think it was right from the Docs' house, though. I mean, you can't be telling people what people
That's what made me think that this wasn't
Why can't both be true? Why can't they have, beef between one another, but at the same time, they're like, let's capitalize on it?
I like Erica blowing up all of our stories with like personal intel, and I'm like, where did Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky get down? That's my contribution to the show. But like, I think you're right. I think it's kind of, we've seen this in the past. A lot of artists, whatever they are, they go after each other and their record sales go through the roof, right? That being said, I love what Kanye's doing. He's recreating his house in Soldier Field, which he grew up on the west side of Chicago. Imagine that feeling for him, putting his house as a childhood home and the dream of one day perhaps performing at Soldier Field and then having the house. And I think it's artistry, and it's so cool to me.
Yeah.
I love that.
It gives me chills actually thinking about that. When you put it that way,
yeah,
unbelievable. All right, so coming up on DBL, the fabulous Loretta Devine is joining us live. Look, there she is. We can't wait to talk with her. Coming up next.
Closed captioning provided by...
All right, Al, so after hearing some of Erica and what she said and some of my points, you still believe that they really have a beef?
Yeah, I just think that rap beef there's 2 different kinds. There's kinds that, like, no disrespect, but like, mainstream knows about, and then there are people that are into the culture and into the music. And yes, there could be some kind of like I do believe the Kanye 50 Cent was manufactured. But if you and I were manufacturing beef to get ready to get interest for year 5 that we're starting, we would say weird things and maybe even attack. Yeah. But I wouldn't post a picture of your wife in front of your house and being like, this is where Jeff. Yeah, that's like taking it to a different place. And if they're that desperate, then I'll stand corrected. But that move right there really wasn't.
I think it all boils down to like the Kim Kardashian drama with Drake.
Yeah, I think
alleged
didn't Drake,
relationship.
So I think there's a lot of
and the song
personal
Kiki,
stuff.
Right?
Yeah.
Isn't that the answer though? Like if that address is real and it's really Drake's house and that's where he's staying, isn't that the answer if it's beef or not?
I would think so.
Because if people are really going there.
Imagine if I told the whole world where you live.
Well, do you ever some people that you don't get along with in your past or whatever, you're like, man, I really don't like that person. I hope they don't put my phone number on social media because we had the same number forever. It crosses my mind sometimes.
Yeah, it's a very transgressive move. And I think once you take it there, I think it goes past propaganda or production into even maybe something that did start off to be manufactured, but it's like we could be joking around, but you make one comment about my mom or my kids or your wife, and now we're doing something different. So that's what I'm saying.
But if we're on the same page, and not saying mom isn't, but if you're on the same page and it's a marketing ploy, it's worked in the past. Yeah. It definitely has.
Doesn't hurt.
I think we're done.
Would you like to have dinner with us tonight? It's just leftovers. Collard greens and cornbread, some candied yams, a little potato salad, fried chicken, peach cobbler, fruit slices of ham. I have no business eating it myself, big as I am.
I like that. I like a woman with a little meat on her bones,
Yes, she's an original dream girl. Erica was literally like repeating the entire scene. And of course, she stole scenes in the groundbreaking film, Waiting to Exhale. But you can breathe now because Emmy Award-winning actress Loretta Devine joins us live.
Yes.
Oh my God. Welcome and happy birthday. Did we hear that your birthday just happened? How did you celebrate?
Yes, by working. I celebrated by working.
Well, we love a queen who hustles, Miss Loretta. Thank you so much for being here. I am such a fan. I remember going to see Wait and Exhale with my mom in the movie theaters, and it was like a bonding moment, and I watch it about once a month, so I am here for you. I thought it was really interesting because I heard that you were asked to gain weight for your role in Wait and Exhale. Would you ever do that again?
No, I don't have to. I gained all the weight I need. No, I wouldn't do it again. I don't think I'll ever need to do that again.
Well, I have to ask you, you were in the original cast of Dreamgirls on Broadway with friend of the show, my personal friend, Cheryl Lee Ralph. She is a queen, and that was 40 years ago, and you've been working ever since, but you call yourself a late bloomer. How do you do that? You are a current bloomer. You were currently a star.
Well, when I started, everyone thought I was maybe 10 years older than everyone thought I was. So that's what I mean by a late bloomer. You get to the whole thing late, but you get to it.
Look at her at the Jerry Lewis Telethon. You see her at the Jerry Lewis Telethon? Wow.
What a career in show business.
Unbelievable.
Does that bring back some memories?
Oh my God, yes it does. When I talk to Cheryl Lee, and it's just, we can't believe it's been 40 years. I mean, it passed so fast, and that's what's so great about life. It just zooms right by, and you look up, and here we are, you know?
Loretta, I love behind-the-scenes stuff, and you talk about your journey to becoming an award-winning actress in TV One's Uncensored. So tell us a little bit about that shady letter you got back in the day, your teacher wrote, and how it impacted your career.
Well, you know, it's just important that people do or don't believe in you. And sometimes when people don't believe you, it's more of a force to move you forward than when people do. So it was that sort of thing. And Uncensored was very nerve-wracking for me because I don't like to talk about myself because half the time I can't remember what happened. And the other half, I'm afraid I'm going to out somebody that's going to kill me.
Oh, no.
That's honest.
Well, Miss Loretta, of course, I've been a fan of yours for a long time, but now I'm really into the Netflix show Family Reunion, where you play an old school grandmother in the Netflix show. So for all the grandmothers watching right now, what will they relate to the most about your character?
Oh, I think my character's like Superwoman in this show. They have me doing things that are just unbelievable. And sometimes they bring in stunt doubles that can't even do the stuff that they dreamed up. It's a wonderful show. It's coming back out on August 26th. We have 7 new shows that are coming on Netflix for Family Reunion. The kids are growing up in front of our eyes, doing incredible things. I think people are going to be amazed by some of the new shows we're doing.
Well, one of my favorites was the Uncle Charlie episode.
Loretta, while we have you here, I have to steal you and I have to ask this question because honestly, you've worked with everybody, and I saw you, obviously on Waiting to Exhale with the late great Gregory Hines. Yeah. Was there anybody throughout your career that you worked with where you were just blown away by just their natural talent?
Oh, it happens all the time, I think, for me. The kids that are in Family Reunion are just absolutely so talented across the board. They do everything, and they do it well. It's just amazing how I think everybody that's coming into the business now, they've watched the people that are in the business. They can do what they do and more. I mean, and add that extra bounce or that extra flavor to it. So, it's almost a thing of keep up. You've got to, because the internet is there. There are all these other things that are going on besides just, the 3 TV stations that were around when I started. Wow. There's streaming and doing all kinds of things that are brand new. And everybody's branding themselves and selling their power. So you have to learn how to do that. That's all new.
You don't need to.
You did a great job.
We all know who you are. You're a good girl. Loretta, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us, and we definitely look forward to seeing you on TV One's Uncensored. To our DBL Nation, make sure you watch it this Sunday. Thank you so much.
Come back and see us.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
10 o'clock. We'll be right back.
A new report from T-Mobile says hackers have compromised more than 50 million of their accounts. The hackers gained access to everything from names and addresses to account PINs and social security numbers. And it's not just current customers. Former customers and anyone who's applied for an account could have been targeted. T-Mobile says they're working with law enforcement and taking steps to protect affected customers, but there are some things you can do to stay vigilant. First, change your passwords on the affected accounts. Once you've done that, keep an eye on your bank statements and credit reports. And remember, you can still get free weekly reports from all 3 credit bureaus. If you see any suspicious activity, you can freeze your credit, which will make it tougher for hackers to open new accounts with your stolen information. We know all this may seem like a lot of work, but when it comes to securing your personal info, putting in the effort now can make a big difference down the line.
Welcome back to DBL. After an 8-year-old heard about a tragedy from the local news, she took matters into her own hands to help the victims' families. That's today's Heart Threads.
After witnessing a tragedy, this girl was moved to turn lemons into lemonade. One night, 8-year-old Faith was watching the news and saw 4 people die at the Faster Horses Music Festival.
She said she couldn't sleep because she was just thinking about how sad their parents were.
That night, Faith dreamed about a lemonade stand, so she took her mom's phone and shared the dream on Facebook.
I woke up to people talking about a lemonade stand and helping me with a lemonade stand. I actually thought that I made a status in my sleep about starting a lemonade stand, or I was dreaming. I was really like, what happened here?
Faith's mom wasn't dreaming. They received an outpouring of support. The first donation came from Faith herself.
I had $28 in my piggy bank, so I decided to donate all that $28, but I was saving up for a skateboard.
After 4 days, Faith raised $1,008. All of the money raised went directly to the families.
And my parents said, "Why did you do that?" So I said, "One good deed starts a chain reaction."
What an exceptional young girl. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Cms Exemption Form that every parent can request to fill out for their child. You can see on this form that there are 3 exemptions: medical, behavioral, or developmental. However, many parents have asked us if CMS will accept any other reasons for not wearing a mask. Let's verify. Our sources, CMS and Gary Monty, attorney and managing partner at Monty PLLC. The CMS Exemption Form for the 2021-2022 school year states exemptions from wearing a face covering due to medical, developmental, or behavioral reasons require certification by a medical provider. It goes on to say that parents and the medical provider need to fill out the form. Many people have wondered if religious exemptions would be allowed. We reached out to CMS and asked if students could be exempt for any other reason than what's on the sheet. In an email, CMS told us the exemptions are spelled out on the form, so we can verify that no, religious exemptions are not included on the CMS form. However, attorney Gary Monty says religious exemptions, though not on the form, could hold up in court if a person was not wearing a mask.
I would say that the 3 exemptions that the CMS, the school system, has put down are probably the exceptions that would be considered the standard. However, there's always, room for a court to say, hey, there are religious exceptions that ought to be applied, and a judge, a court, a jury could decide that.
However, Monty says parents need to keep their children home if their kids are showing symptoms.
If the child was exhibiting symptoms or had been exposed to someone with COVID and you sent them to school, then certainly you would still probably be held liable for that, irrespective of the religious exemption.
The form does state students exempt from wearing a face mask are required to quarantine for 14 days if they're in close contact with someone who tested positive, unless the student is fully vaccinated and symptom-free. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
Welcome back to DBL. Have you ever wondered why some couples dress alike? Well, Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union are often seen out coordinating their outfits and style. And who can forget Gwyneth Paltrow and Brad Pitt, who also sported matching clothes and haircuts.
Wow.
But a fashion psychologist says dressing like your partner shows you have a higher level of empathy. That's interesting, and means you're happy and content in the relationship. But it can also be unhealthy if you are just changing your style to please your partner.
You went from very happy to like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Because full transparency, we were talking about this in the break, and I said, you kind of dress like Mark, maybe we should do this story. And you...
No, we do not dress. We have similar style, but that's different. We have similar styles. We don't coordinate outfits.
You both look like you're about to go to a concert in '99.
What?
Yeah, you both are dressed like you're going to a concert in '99. Like you're... Literally, you should have tickets to Green Day in your hand. Soundgarden.
Oh, I love Green Day. I love Soundgarden.
Yes, we can tell by your...
There's a difference between coordinating outfits, like the jean dress, like we saw with Britney Spears, and the jean outfit with Justin Timberlake, and you and your partner having similar styles. Mark and I both like punk rock and metal, so yeah, we're going to have similar styles. Doesn't mean that we coordinate. That's totally different.
Yeah, but you guys dress exactly alike.
What do you mean?
You wear each other's clothes.
You do.
You said no, and everyone in here was like, oh yeah, they totally dress, like not even a big deal.
I will borrow his band tees.
So yes, you do wear each other's clothes.
You don't ever wear Anthony's like oversized shirts or flannels or sweatshirts?
Be honest.
I wear some, generally when I wear Anthony's clothes though, I don't go out the door.
Oh, wow. I can't see Erica because all this shade over here.
I'm not saying anything bad about it. I love your style. I think that your style is great. It's perfect for you. I love it. I'm just saying I don't, but actually, it's funny because I do coordinate Anthony's looks.
You do?
I
for what he
absolutely
wears.
Do you coordinate with Jordan?
Sometimes we do look alike.
You coordinate.
We don't coordinate. Sometimes we're just like, wow, we're matching for no reason. Listen, we're out of time. Grabs Mark's jacket and let's get out of here.
I can't. DBL's new every day. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye, guys.
At the start of the pandemic, it seemed like plastic barriers went up everywhere. So why are some experts saying it's time to take them down? Let's connect the dots. New research suggests that plastic barriers are not that effective at stopping COVID-19. In fact, they may be making some situations worse. We know the virus spreads through small particles in the air. Good airflow and ventilation can help get rid of them. Now scientists tell the New York Times those plastic barriers can actually cut off airflow in a room, trapping virus particles in concentrated areas. And those shields aren't blocking as many germs as you may think. Plastic can be great for stopping something like a cough or a sneeze, but it does very little to stop the virus particles an infected person emits just by breathing. Those particles are going to waft over and under the barrier, often in a more concentrated way. These new findings have big implications for the school year. In fact, a study from Johns Hopkins suggests classrooms with screens on desks actually had an increased risk of coronavirus infection. Researchers say schools should instead focus on improving airflow, wearing masks, and encouraging vaccinations to keep COVID out of the classroom. And that is Connecting the Dots.
Here's what we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
Dr. Fauci predicts when we could get back to normal.
There's no guarantee because it's up to us.
Plus, a group of doctors walk out in protest of unvaccinated patients. Our medical expert is here to weigh in. Kids who haven't flown the coop, should parents be charging adult children rent? Actress Loretta Devine will be here live. And an A-list celebrity bodyguard, Simon Newton, with a resume including everyone from Naomi Campbell to Kendall Jenner to Michael Jackson.
When they covered the face, everyone wanted that first photo.
Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2. You see that, everybody? That was our senior executive producer, Bert, who forgets that we have a live show.
No, he should have forgotten. They said 10 seconds, and he just stood there like he was at the bus stop. That was
Al, where do you come up with your analogies? They're hilarious. Welcome to DBL, everybody. Yep, it is Tuesday, August 24th. I'm Sam here with Al, Jeff, and our very own Dr. Coley. All right, let's get started because all of you are talking about how the FDA granted full approval for the Pfizer vaccine, and now the president has a strong message for U.S. companies. Take a look.
Today, I'm calling on more companies, I should say, in the private sector to step up with vaccine requirements that'll reach millions more people. If you're a business leader, a nonprofit leader, a state or local leader who has been waiting for full FDA approval to require vaccinations, I call on you now to do that.
Okay, so thank goodness we have Dr. Coley here to answer our questions. Do you think the COVID vaccine will be just like other vaccines that are universally required for normal life?
I think it's already gotten there, guys. And I think the people that choose not to get the COVID vaccine are going to alienate themselves from society. They're going to cut themselves out of things. I had a friend who went to New York over the weekend, went to a Broadway show. To get into the show, you have to have your original vaccine card. To get into New York restaurants, you have to have your vaccine card. So if you choose not to get vaccinated, you are really alienating yourself from all the things that you love to do. And I really hope that people will start getting vaccinated because that's where we're headed.
Well, let's talk couple other people that are saying, yeah, I'm not vaccinated, but I'm not an anti-vaxxer. It's just the fact that this is not FDA approved. So now that Pfizer has gotten the approval, do you think this will move those people that were on the fence to the side of the vaccinated?
I really hope so, Al. There were 30% of people that were saying that they're waiting for the FDA approval. It's a lot of people. What else I hope is that companies, even though I hate to use the stick rather than the carrot, will start mandating, because that's something that when people have consequences for not doing something, it motivates them to do it. And we're doing it in their best interest. The third piece of this is now that Pfizer is now fully FDA approved, it can start advertising. So you're going to see ads on TV about life with the vaccine. Yeah. And so you're going to reach those people who maybe had never really thought about life with the vaccine.
All right.
Doctorate and marketing degree. Yeah. I love it. I love it. What about kids now, like mine? They're only 2 and 4, but what about kids under 12? When are they going to start getting vaccinated?
You know, I hope that comes soon, Jeff, but I'm worried that that timeline's getting pushed farther and farther back. Because remember, in order to get full FDA approval, this vaccine first had emergency use authorization based on the preliminary data. Now, what we heard from Dr. Fauci yesterday was that with kids, that risk-benefit ratio may not favor emergency use authorization. So we may want to wait for full approval for kids, which is going to take its time. So I'm hoping that it'll happen this fall for all you guys as kids, but I think it may happen next year even.
Well, let's keep talking about fall, and let's talk about the people, I'm assuming like us, that have had both shots and are getting ready for their booster shot. I've always wondered, maybe you guys know, I don't know, what is a booster shot? Is it just like the last shot that we got, or is it just a little bit more? Like, what is a booster shot?
So a booster shot can be either, but it's really a way to flex your immune system's muscle. So it's like going back to the gym with your personal trainer, right? You've been out of it for a little while, so your immune system, which maybe hasn't been activated, is starting to get a little lazy. So it's a way to boost your antibodies. It's a way to boost your immune fighting cells. And you can do mix and match boosters. So you can have one type of one booster, like a messenger RNA mixed with a DNA vaccine, so like a Pfizer and a Johnson & Johnson, but that's not what we're doing right now. What we're doing, and what's really been put out even, so Pfizer, Moderna, given about 6 to 8 months after the second dose, in order to boost the antibodies and really augment that immune response. Now, what we need to wait on, you guys, is whether this is safe. We know that it works. We know it works really well to boost those antibodies, but we need the FDA to green light it under emergency use authorization to know that it's also safe for us to get.
So we have a lot of our viewers that are asking questions. One, when will the pandemic be over? Speaking of which, Dr. Fauci, he originally estimated, and I want our viewers and for you to watch what he said, because now our viewers are accusing him of flip-flopping, right? So he originally said the coronavirus would still be a problem come fall of 2022. But if you look at this clip, he has a new estimate. Take a look, Dr. Coley.
I said if we can get through this winter and get really the overwhelming majority of the 90 million people who have not been vaccinated, I hope we could start to get some good control in the spring of 2022. I didn't mean the fall. I misspoke. My bad.
Okay, so Dr. Coley, did he flip-flop? According to some of our viewers, they believe he did.
A little bit, I would say yes. He's changing his timeline. He's changing his goalposts. But at the same time, I want to remind our viewers that there are a lot of moving parts here. And it's not like we have a crystal ball that tells us exactly what's going on. So think about it like you're playing a game. You're playing a football game, and not only is the goalpost changing, but the rules of the game are changing. So that's what's happened here. If everything had stayed the same, he might have been right, but Delta got introduced. Right. Americans decided not to get vaccinated. We have other countries that have new variants popping up that are intermixing with, travel back and forth. So all of these things are changing. So I would say probably the right thing to do was for him to not make a prediction. And that's what I've learned through this entire process, is that you have to be humbled and say you're wrong when you're wrong. But at the same time, you have to know what you know and what you don't know. We don't actually know when this is going to be over because there's too many moving parts. But the one thing that's definitely going to get us closer every single time, getting vaccinated.
Doc, let me ask you, a lot of people, Dr. Fauci rubs people the wrong way in some instances. I know you're a big fan, right? And, I want to listen to him as well. But from the beginning of this pandemic, I always had one question when he talked about the masks. He said, we don't need masks. And he lied on purpose because we didn't want everybody buying up those masks. I already see the face you're making, and I like it. I like it. But how are we supposed to trust him later on if he's giving these dates and he's not exactly sure? I understand that. He can't really predict a date. Why is he giving these dates? Why is he talking about himself in the third person? You can answer.
So I have to say I agree with some of what you're saying. I think in the beginning there were a lot of mess ups, and I think we have to acknowledge that. We have to know these people are human and they made a mistake, but they did it with the right intention, which was to protect the people that were the most vulnerable, which were in the hospitals where they needed the personal protective equipment. Again, what he's doing right now is with the right intention, which is to motivate people. If I told you guys, I don't know when this thing is going to be over, which I just did, what's going to happen to your morale? Right. What's going to happen to your will to fight? So it's sort of like a general leading an army. You have to motivate your troops to do the right thing, and I think that's what he's trying to do here.
All right, well said. We also want to get your take on this. So a group of doctors in Florida walked out in protest yesterday. There they are. So Dr. Coley, they say they are exhausted and their patients and resources are running low. Now, they are protesting all of the unvaccinated patients that they are treating, and they're hoping the walkout will encourage more people to go and get vaccinated. What's your take on that?
You know, you guys, I wish I had been invited to this protest because I would have 100% gone. I am with all these doctors out there. I'm tired. I'm frustrated. I'm angry. I'm also sad. I'm sad that people are making the wrong decision based on misinformation when we have the solution right in front of us. The vaccines are what we've got. We've got nothing else. So I really hope that this sends a clear message from the people who are really fighting in the trenches, literally at the front lines, that go and get vaccinated. And I think what this is suggesting also is that doctors are starting to have more sympathy for those that are vaccinated, as we've seen with other doctors that refuse to treat patients that are unvaccinated. So if you continue to remain unvaccinated, even your physician, your medical provider may start to lose that compassion and have that compassion fatigue. So keep that in mind when you make that decision.
That's honest.
Really great information as always, Dr. Coley. Thank you. All right, so coming up on DBL, should grown-up kids pay their parents if they are still living with them? Why some people say adult children should not be getting a free ride. And his bodyguard resume includes everyone from Michael Jackson to Kendall Jenner. We're talking with Simon Newton all about what it's like protecting Hollywood's elite. Plus, was Ben Affleck really ring shopping for J-Lo? Okay, we'll tell you where Ben was spotted.
Closed captioning provided by
Hi DBL Nation, happy Tuesday. It's Kelly Schubert here with the DBL Digital team. We are continuing the conversation with Dr. Coley over here. Dr. Coley, I had some good news for you. You did? So I went to Walgreens yesterday to pick up my prescription, and there were so many people in line to get their vaccine. I know, it made me so happy because I've been to, Walgreens obviously multiple times, and I think after the FDA approval yesterday, people were actually like, maybe I should go get it. So I thought that was some good news I just wanted to share with you.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that.
I know, right? Yes. It's just a good thing. People are actually listening, starting to get vaccinated. I mean, for me, I got vaccinated right away, but I know some of our viewers write in and they weren't ready to get vaccinated, and I think for some of them it's changing it too. So good news there.
We've got more FDA approvals coming with Moderna,
exactly.
maybe Johnson & Johnson.
Yeah, okay, great. Because I know some people with Johnson & Johnson, they're kind of confused. They're like, should I get a booster? Should I not? With FDA approval. So with that, fingers crossed, hopefully it'll come soon, and we'll keep you updated, DBL Nation. Let us know what you think. We've got a lot going on here at Daily Blast Live today. Let us know your opinions. We'll see you soon. Bye, guys.
DBL is your daytime destination.
I get very excited.
I was excited with you.
Okay, thank you.
We are fired up.
I am feeling very disagreeable.
Educate yourself. Though I got to push back because sometimes...
No, I won't accept that.
Check that. And having fun.
You have 2 straws and a strawberry shake.
I felt it in my heart and in my soul. What's Jack thinking?
I don't want to get canceled.
DBL's all new every day. Welcome back to DBL. Erica is here joining us.
Hey, y'all. Hey. Happy to be here.
Yeah. She's brought her energy with her. Okay, so yesterday we talked about celebs saying goodbye to their kids, heading off to college, including Brooke Shields and Cameron Bure. They both posted pictures of it on social media. But what happens when adult kids don't leave, huh? There was a Reddit post about this that's gone viral. It was written by a 21-year-old who got a raise at work, and his parents demanded he pay $350 a week for a room he shares with his younger brother. So is this unfair? We want to hear from you. So the question again is, should parents charge adult kids rent? Yes or no? Go to dblvote.com to weigh in. Erica?
Yeah, this is kind of loaded because we understand that there are people who are caregivers, and of course that's appreciated. And also, a lot of parents take pride in the idea that they can give their child a head start in a way that they may not have received. I think when you have a situation where it's like, you know what, I have this amount of student loan debt and I may have gotten a little over my head on credit cards, let me move home, pay this off, and then go about in the world. I don't think there's anything wrong with being like, hey, here's $100 for the cell phone bill, or here's whatever it is for whatever it is. So I'm kind of in between on this.
Well, I just, you know, we all had that period in our 20s where some of us went out and got apartments and moved kind of away from home. We had friends that were like, I'm going to go back home and save money. And you're like, good for you. Yeah. And then you go back home to visit for Thanksgiving and they're buying drinks for everybody at the bar because they've been saving their money. But it really just kind of gets filtered back into the bar because you get comfortable. Somebody's folding your laundry. Somebody's making you breakfast. You kind of go back into 10th grade mode of whatever you are, unless you're a very driven person. I do get that we are in a period now where millennials and Gen Zers have an incredible amount of student loan debt, but it's very hard to focus. And I think unless it's a dire situation, I think you need to move out. I think you might incentivize that by throw some D's on it. You know what I'm saying? In terms of like make them pay something. It was a hip hop song like 15 years ago.
Yeah, I know that song. Throw some D's on it.
There we go.
Okay.
I don't know about that.
Go ahead.
How did we get to rims?
I know. That's not what we're talking about at all.
Make them pay a little something if they're going to stay, and that will incentivize them to leave and get their own place. If you're staying somewhere for free, why would you leave?
How about you don't allow them to stay with you? I get it in a really difficult situation.
If Sophie wanted to stay, you would say no?
I would hope that I raised her in a way, again, I'm not talking about specific unique situations, but I would hope that I would raise her in a way where she wouldn't need to fall back on mom and dad, where she would pull herself up from the bootstraps and make things work, whether she had 1 job, 2 jobs, 3 jobs. We've all been there. We all hustled in college to pay the bills. I never asked my mom and dad to pay. I went out and got another job, and I feel strongly about that. I think you're enabling the kid.
When she looks at you with those eyes and says, I need a place to stay for 6 months, it's hard to say no.
In the Italian culture, you stay home till you're married.
Yeah.
No, that's how the women. But it's so funny how like people look at this. It's like, oh, what a loser! You live in your mom's basement. I had to go home and live in my parents' basement after I failed in Los Angeles. They helped me get back on my feet. So it's not always a bad thing. You're not always a loser. But if you're not doing anything, you're not folding your own laundry. You got to get out, or at least got to learn a lesson from it. You know?
Yeah. But it depends on how you're wired. If you're there to reset like you were and move out, that's one thing. But if you see somebody getting comfortable, they start getting their mail sent there, they start complaining, you're like, Mom, keep it down, I'm gaming. Like, then it's time to like put a rent on it so they get out.
Or throwing D's on it.
Yeah, throw some D's on it.
Okay. All right, so our viewers say 73% of you say yes, they should have to pay rent. All right, coming up on DBL, our interview with celebrity bodyguard Simon Newton, what it's like making sure A-list stars are safe.
A new report from T-Mobile says hackers have compromised more than 50 million of their accounts. The hackers gained access to everything from names and addresses to account PINs and social security numbers. And it's not just current customers. Former customers and anyone who's applied for an account could have been targeted. T-Mobile says they're working with law enforcement and taking steps to protect affected customers, but there are some things you can do to stay vigilant. First, change your passwords on the affected accounts. Once you've done that, keep an eye on your bank statements and credit reports. And remember, you can still get free weekly reports from all 3 credit bureaus. If you see any suspicious activity, you can freeze your credit, which will make it tougher for hackers to open new accounts with your stolen information. We know all this may seem like a lot of work, but when it comes to securing your personal info, putting in the effort now can make a big difference down the line.
Welcome back to DBL. For many A-list stars, the price of fame includes super fans and stalkers. Ex-bodyguard Simon Newton is sharing details about the A-list supermodels and pop stars he once protected in today's DBL Spotlight. Simon, welcome to DBL. Although you have caught the acting bug, you've worked closely with some of the biggest stars as a bodyguard. Now, Michael Jackson was your first celebrity client, so I want to know, what were you doing before you got that call?
Going back a little bit, I was in the military, British Army, but I was already working as a bodyguard in the Middle East at the time for American Oil Company and then a little bit for the British government, and around that time is when I got the call for Michael Jackson.
During the time you worked for the King of Pop, he covered his children's faces to protect them. How did that affect your job?
It didn't affect it massively, but I think as the children got older, it made it a lot harder for the security teams because when they covered the face, everyone wanted that first photo, and I think that everybody knew at some stage they was going to get one. It kind of did draw a lot more attention to the children. Obviously, Michael did that to them pretty much from birth, really, so no one ever got to see their faces at all. I did that job in 2006, so they were still quite young then, so photographs were still very sought after.
All right, you said the greatest threat to celebrities are actually stalkers. And I want to know, how do you spot the difference between just like a super fan and a dangerous stalker?
Normally, unfortunately, with stalkers, mental health's often connected with it. But I think super fans are all T-shirts, balloons, nice gifts, and they're just kind of always there, whereas stalkers, obviously, they're there all the time. Sometimes the gifts aren't so nice. They also often seem to have some sort of, or believe they have some sort of physical attachment, whether it's boyfriend, girlfriend, married, brother, sister, or maybe went to school together. They always seem to have that some sort of physical attachment.
What's the most dangerous place as a bodyguard for you to be in? Is it that situation where you're going from like the concert venue to the car?
Yeah, is it like a walk-up?
Yeah, is it like an outdoor situation, or is it like you trying to get to the elevator and it's an enclosed situation?
Normally, the most vulnerable points are from leaving a place to the vehicle or leaving the vehicle to go into a place. And obviously we try and minimise that risk, so if we can go back of house or to an underground car park and cut that out, we will.
I have to have a back door for everywhere I go with so many fans, just so many.
There was one guy.
There was one man.
And he
it was my dad.
He was just parking next to you. He didn't know who you were.
True. Other than Michael Jackson, what celebrity client presented you with the greatest challenge?
Good question.
Probably Kendall Jenner or Bella Hadid, mainly because of their sort of model presence. They're very, I mean, the pair of them are probably some of the most packed models today.
It's weird because you think of the Jenners really specifically and the Kardashians, and there's a magnetic sense of just people come from everywhere for those people just for the Instagram pic. Am I right?
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's not just, I mean, some people are not even sure
who they are,
you know, what it is or what they do. But they just see them on social media, so they know. But, you know, there's loads of different ways you can know celebrities these days other than seeing them for actually the thing they do now.
All right, so before we go, we got to ask a speed round of questions and have you quickly answer. All right, with the name of a former celebrity client. Are you ready? Who is the nicest celebrity you worked with?
Bella Hadid.
Bella, gee, that's good to hear.
Well, this is
Supermodel.
speed, so that means you can't have commentary after every answer he gets.
Go.
Who is the biggest diva?
Biggest Naomi Campbell.
Who smells the best, without thinking about it?
That's a tough one. I've never really been on a job where I felt like I needed to start sniffing the people I was looking after. But,
Simon, thank you so much for joining us. We'll also keep an eye out for you on the big screen. Keep us posted. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Cms Exemption Form that every parent can request to fill out for their child. You can see on this form that there are 3 exemptions: medical, behavioral, or developmental. However, many parents have asked us if CMS will accept any other reasons for not wearing a mask. Let's verify. Our sources, CMS and Gary Monty, attorney and managing partner at Monty PLLC. The CMS exemption form for the 2021-2022 school year states exemptions from wearing a face covering due to medical, developmental, or behavioral reasons require certification by a medical provider. It goes on to say that parents and the medical provider need to fill out the form. Many people have wondered if religious exemptions would be allowed. We reached out to CMS and asked if students could be exempt for any other reason than what's on the sheet. In an email, CMS told us the exemptions are spelled out on the form, so we can verify that no, religious exemptions are not included on the CMS form. However, attorney Gary Monty says religious exemptions, though not on the form, could hold up in court if a person was not wearing a mask.
I would say that the 3 exemptions that the CMS, the school system, has put down are probably the exceptions that would be considered the standard. However, there's always, room for a court to say, hey, there are religious exceptions that ought to be applied, and a judge, a court, a jury could decide that.
However, Monty says parents need to keep their children home if their kids are showing symptoms.
If the child was exhibiting symptoms or had been exposed to someone with COVID and you sent them to school, then certainly you would still probably be held liable for that, irrespective of the religious exemption.
The form does state students exempt from wearing a face mask are required to quarantine for 14 days if they're in close contact with someone who tested positive, unless the student is fully vaccinated and symptom-free. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
Tomorrow on DBL, the murder of a young couple leaves a community on edge.
My son is in the basement tied up at his house. I just saw him through the window.
Don't miss this all-new True Crime Chronicles. Plus, the U.S. Secretary of Education will be here. What's being done to keep kids safe in schools? That's tomorrow on DBL.
Welcome back to DBL. Before we go, some sad news. Rolling Stones drummer Charlie Watts has died. Now, a spokesperson said Charlie passed away peacefully in a London hospital surrounded by family. Charlie, of course, had been with the Stones since 1963. He, along with Mick Jagger, Keith Richards, and Ronnie Wood, propelled the band to the top of the charts with songs like Brown Sugar, Start Me Up, and Jumpin' Jack Flash. Charlie had to drop out of the upcoming No Filter tour earlier this month because he was recovering from a medical procedure. He was 80. Wow, what a legend right there.
Yeah, but I just don't know how sad it is. I mean, 80 years being the Rolling Stones drummer, that's a win in my book. I'll take that behind whatever's behind door number 2. What a life, what an artist, what a career. He should be celebrated.
So true. And our thoughts and prayers with his friends and family. If you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show online. Watch on YouTube, dailyblastlive.com, or our DBL mobile app. But if you're sticking around, here's what's coming up. New information about the Bill and Monica scandal series. Will they include some of the most infamous moments in the show? And is Bennifer headed to the altar? Find out where Ben was spotted, potentially shopping for rings.
At the start of the pandemic, it seemed like plastic barriers went up everywhere. So why are some experts saying it's time to take them down? Let's connect the dots. New research suggests that plastic barriers are not that effective at stopping COVID-19. In fact, they may be making some situations worse. We know the virus spreads through small particles in the air. Good airflow and ventilation can help get rid of them. Now scientists tell the New York Times those plastic barriers can actually cut off the airflow in a room, trapping virus particles in concentrated areas. And those shields aren't blocking as many germs as you may think. Plastic can be great for stopping something like a cough or a sneeze, but it does very little to stop the virus particles an infected person emits just by breathing. Those particles are going to waft over and under the barrier, often in a more concentrated way. These new findings have big implications for the school year. In fact, a study from Johns Hopkins suggests classrooms with screens on desks actually had an increased risk of coronavirus infection. Researchers say schools should instead focus on improving airflow, wearing masks, and encouraging vaccinations to keep COVID out of the classroom. And that is Connecting the Dots.
Is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to DBL. I'm Sam here with Al, Jeff, and Erica. Let's get started. Okay, so is Ben Affleck ready to put a ring on it? Ben was spotted outside Tiffany's in LA looking at rings and taking notes along with his son and his mom. So could another proposal to J-Lo be around the corner? Back in 2002, if you remember, Ben gave Jen a 6.1 carat diamond ring. It was reportedly worth $2.5 million. But as we know, the engagement ended when they called it off a year later. So most recently, Jen was engaged to A-Rod. She reportedly may still have that 15 carat diamond ring he gave her. So if Ben does propose, it would be Jen's 6th engagement. Do you think that Erica Ben is, look at Erica's face, just go. Just go, girl.
Y'all really think that Ben Affleck is window shopping at Tiffany's in contemplation of an engagement to J-Lo? Y'all really think that? That's the story we're going with.
I'm back.
That's the story we're going with. That he's window shopping at Tiffany's, that there's not like a diamond broker who actually comes to his bat cave and is like, hey, here are all of the different cuts and all the clarities and all the whatever. He at Tiffany's with the piece of paper taking notes with his mama. Okay.
So is he trolling us? What's happening then?
I don't know if he's trolling us, but I will say this. After the 15 carat, you can't go much higher. So how about we take it back to the old school? Go to Tiffany, go to Zales, go to the mall. Hey, we're going to be real people. J-Lo can have anything she wants. Well, we're going to go to the Hood Mall
Oh, he
ring
wants to be
shop.
like common folks, so he also can pay 40%
Jenny from the
over
block.
wholesale.
Let's go get that.
Got it.
Yes.
Got it.
Well, apparently this is going to be her, well, not apparently, this will be her 6th ring if she gets it. But we don't know if she returned that. Remember that canary one? It's still alleged that she kept it. She allegedly still didn't return A-Rod's ring. So Jenny from the block is now pocketing some rocks.
She said, "Don't be fooled by the rocks that she got."
Yeah, well, now she's got 5 of them, about to be 6.
We don't know if she kept those.
Wait, what's wrong with Tiffany's? Why are we comparing Tiffany's to Zales and like K's?
What's wrong with Zales?
Good point.
Oh, little elitist over here.
Not at all.
Every
I thought
kiss
Tiffany's
begins with K.
No, I'm surprised that, like, yes, I agree that someone at the stature of Ben Affleck is not even going to window shop. He's going to keep that private. So I think he may have been purchasing something for somebody else. Maybe he's doing research for a role where he's like, I don't know, a diamond buyer. I don't understand.
Wow, it's gonna be I can't wait for his new movie. He's a window shopper. It's going to be super exciting.
I need to method act this. How do people go into the stores and purchase things? Okay, cash for goods.
I didn't say Tiffany's as if Tiffany's was less than. I was saying that if you're going to go to a retailer, you're going to pay 40% more than a wholesaler, which he is in a position to buy wholesale.
Don't they go to like Jacob Jeweler or something, right?
Somebody come to them, Sam.
Okay.
We don't even see that.
Okay. All right. So Beanie Feldstein says she got out of her comfort zone to play Monica Lewinsky. Beanie is playing the former White House intern in the upcoming FX series Impeachment: American Crime Story. In an interview with W Magazine, Beanie said as a queer woman, it was out of her comfort zone to play Monica, but also said if she was in Monica's shoes, she would have done the exact same thing. And the show's writer told The Wrap that the series will not include any of the sex scenes between Bill and Monica. The reason, she said, was because enough of the public already knows the graphic details of what went on. Okay, Jeff.
So sad. So sad, because I asked that question like a disgusting pervert if they were going to put that in there. And I thought they would, because I don't need to see what happened. We all know what happened, but I'd like to see where it happened. Did it happen in the Oval Office? Was it on the desk? Was it? We know. You know what I mean?
Was he on the phone?
Right. What had happened? So that's what I want to know. So I am kind of disappointed we're not going to see that, but I am excited to see her side of the story. And we're going to get Erica's take next. But I do want to go back to Beanie. If I were in Monica's shoes, I would do the exact same thing. That's kind of a strange answer, don't you think?
I think it's honest. Erica, do you think? I mean, it's the most powerful person in the world, and they're coming on to you.
But if you ask Monica Lewinsky that, would she have done that given a second chance? I would say absolutely not. I would say that kind of ruined her life in some sense.
I didn't take it as the actual acts with the president. I took it as she would have done the same things in terms of confiding in someone who she thought was, actually trying to help her.
You weren't talking about the sexual part of it?
I didn't pick that up.
Oh, I did.
Thought it was
That's
the
what
sexual.
I thought it was.
I thought it was sexual.
I thought that she was talking about the moves that she made. So, because also you have to consider, when we talked about this story when we first found out that Monica was actually one of the producers of it and we're getting her side for once, I was called everything but the child of God for saying that I was defending, in some respect, Monica Lewinsky, because Beanie is also of an era where women aren't doing that anymore. They're like, nah, my older sister dealt with this stuff. My mama dealt with this. My grandmother dealt with that. We said no from jump. And so I think that their perspective is a lot different, especially when it comes to scapegoating a young woman. And the idea that people who were, especially women, 2-3 times the age of this woman, going after her the way that she was gone after, and I'm not saying she was innocent. I'm just saying that, honestly, the punishment didn't fit the crime. And that was ridiculous. And I'm glad that people are still talking about it. And I hope that she gets vindicated in some way by this story.
But that's my point. Why would you go back and do that if you knew all that scrutiny was coming your way?
But
It's
she's
just an interesting point.
But now it's done. So now she's has the most intimate knowledge of any of us because she's playing Monica.
Again, I'm just confused.
We'll have to
Why
watch
would you do that? Never mind.
We'll have to watch it.
Where did it happen?
That's what I want to know.
All right, so it looks like the decades-old feud between Kanye West and Drake is heating up yet again. So first, Drake recently took a shot at Kanye in the new Trippie Redd song, Betrayal. Then Kanye fired back and called Drake a nerd bleep jock on Instagram. Kanye also took it a step further and posted Drake's address on social media. But a lot of you are wondering, is this all a plan for them to get attention for their upcoming albums? They're both expected to drop on Friday. So speaking of which, Kanye is holding another listening party for his album Donda in Chicago on Thursday and is recreating his childhood home at Soldier Field.
Bears.
There you go.
What do you think of the feud? I believe it?
You know, it may be for publicity, but Drake has already had a less popular, in terms of mainstream, feud with somebody else, another rapper named Pusha T, in which he came out and told people that Drake had a child that he had not addressed. It was very personal, and it was not the kind of publicity that you want. And when you do get in these rap feuds that are not, for show, they get very personal. We've seen that they can go left in terms of violence. So I don't know if this is the direction that you would go for publicity. I think that there may have been something brewing for a long time. And like they say, there can only be one Highlander, and the people at the top, they fight to see who's at the top of the food chain, and maybe it's between Drake and Kanye.
We're being had.
You think?
You think so?
I absolutely know so. Come on.
Really?
So when Kanye and 50 Cent had their feud back in the day in the early 2000s, the most units sold previous to that year was around 700,000. When they actually had a feud back and forth, they both hit about 1 million units sold, which was the most that any artist had in the past year. The months and weeks leading up to those albums being released, they went to every single radio station, the one I was at included. They talked the talk, and we held the, and then when Kanye was here, he said that, but it was like a whole thing. And what happened in the end? There were two winners, Kanye and 50 Cent. So yeah, I think we play into this, and I think people get really excited about it. I didn't think it was right from the Dox's house, though. I mean, you can't be telling people what people
That's what made me think that this wasn't
Why can't both be true? Why can't they have, beef between one another, but at the same time, they're like, let's capitalize on it?
I like Erica blowing up all of our stories with personal intel, and I'm like, where did Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky get down? That's my contribution to the show. But I think you're right. I think it's kind of, we've seen this in the past. A lot of artists, whatever they are, they go after each other and their record sales go through the roof, right? That being said, I love what Kanye's doing. He's recreating his house in Soldier Field, which he grew up on the west side of Chicago. Imagine that feeling for him, putting his house as a childhood home and the dream of one day perhaps performing at Soldier Field and then having the house. And I think it's artistry, and it's so cool to me.
Yeah.
I love that.
It gives me chills actually thinking about that. When you put it that way,
yeah,
unbelievable. All right, so coming up on DBL, the fabulous Loretta Devine is joining us live. Look, there she is. We can't wait to talk with her. Coming up next.
Closed captioning provided by
All right, Al. So after hearing some of Erica and what she said and some of my points, you still believe that they really have a beef?
Yeah, I just think that rap beef there's two different kinds. There's kinds that no disrespect, but mainstream knows about, and then there are people that are into the culture and into the music. And yes, there could be some kind of like I do believe that the Kanye 50 Cent was manufactured. But if you and I were manufacturing beef to get ready to get interest for year 5 that we're starting, we would say weird things and maybe even attack. Yeah. But I wouldn't post a picture of your wife in front of your house and being like, this is where Jeff. Yeah, that's like taking it to a different place. And if they're that desperate, then I'll stand corrected. But that move right there really wasn't.
I think it all boils down to the Kim Kardashian drama with Drake.
Yeah, I
or
think
alleged
didn't
relationship.
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of
and the song
personal
Kiki,
stuff.
Right?
Yeah.
Isn't that the answer though? If that address is real and it's really Drake's house and that's where he's staying, isn't that the answer if it's beef or not?
I would think so.
Because if people are really going there.
Imagine if I told the whole world where you live.
Well, do you ever some people that you don't get along with in your past or whatever, you're like, man, I really don't like that person. I hope they don't put my phone number on social media because we had the same number forever. It crosses my mind sometimes.
It's a very transgressive move. And I think once you take it there, I think it goes past propaganda or production into even maybe something that did start off to be manufactured, but it's we could be joking around, but you make one comment about my mom or my kids or your wife, and now we're doing something different. So that's what I'm saying.
But if we're on the same page, and not saying mamas, but if you're on the same page and it's a marketing ploy, it's worked in the past. Yeah. It definitely has.
Doesn't hurt?
I think we're done.
Would you like to have dinner with us tonight? It's just leftovers. Collard greens and cornbread, some candied yams, a little potato salad, fried chicken, peach cobbler, fruit slices of ham. I have no business eating it myself, big as I am.
I like that. I like a woman with a little meat on her bones, you know?
Yes! She's an original dream girl. Erica was literally repeating the entire scene. And of course, she stole scenes in the groundbreaking film, Waiting to Exhale. But you can breathe now because Emmy Award-winning actress Loretta Devine joins us live.
Yes.
Oh my God. Welcome and happy birthday. Did we hear that your birthday just happened? How did you celebrate?
Yes, by working. I celebrated by working.
Well, we love a queen who hustles, Miss Loretta. Thank you so much for being here. I am such a fan. I remember going to see Wait and Exhale with my mom in the movie theaters, and it was like a bonding moment, and I watch it about once a month, so I am here for you. I thought it was really interesting because I heard that you were asked to gain weight for your role in Wait and Exhale. Would you ever do that again?
No, I don't have to. I gained all the weight I need. No, I wouldn't do it again. I don't think I'll ever need to do that again.
Well, I have to ask you, you were in the original cast of Dreamgirls on Broadway with friend of the show, my personal friend, Cheryl Lee Ralph. She is a queen, and that was 40 years ago, and you've been working ever since, but you call yourself a late bloomer. How do you do that? You are a current bloomer. You were currently a star.
Well, when I started, everyone thought I was maybe 10 years older than everyone thought I was. So that's what I mean by a late bloomer. You get to the whole thing late, but you get to it.
Look at her at the Jerry Lewis Telethon. You see her at the Jerry Lewis Telethon? Wow.
What a career in show business.
Unbelievable.
Does that bring back some memories?
Oh my God, yes it does. When I talk to Cheryl Lee, and it's just, we can't believe it's been 40 years. I mean, it passed so fast, and that's what's so great about life. It just zooms right by, and you look up, and here we are, you know?
Loretta, I love behind-the-scenes stuff, and you talk about your journey to becoming an award-winning actress in TV One's Uncensored. So tell us a little bit about that shady letter you got back in the day, your teacher wrote, and how it impacted your career.
Well, you know, it's just important that people do or don't believe in you. And sometimes when people don't believe you, it's more of a force to move you forward than when people do. So it was that sort of thing. And Uncensored was very nerve-wracking for me because I don't like to talk about myself because half the time I can't remember what happened. And the other half, I'm afraid I'm going to out somebody that's going to kill me.
Oh, no.
That's honest.
Well, Miss Loretta, of course, I've been a fan of yours for a long time, but now I'm really into the Netflix show Family Reunion, where you play an old school grandmother in the Netflix show. So for all the grandmothers watching right now, what will they relate to the most about your character?
Oh, I think my character is like Superwoman in this show. They have me doing things that are just unbelievable. And sometimes they bring in stunt doubles that can't even do the stuff that they dreamed up. It's a wonderful show. It's coming back out on August 26th. We have 7 new shows that are coming on Netflix for family reunion. The kids are growing up in front of our eyes, doing incredible things. I think people are going to be amazed by some of the new shows we're doing.
Well, one of my favorites was the Uncle Charlie episode.
Loretta, while we have you here, I have to steal you and I have to ask this question because honestly, you've worked with everybody, and I saw you, obviously on Waiting to Exhale with the late great Gregory Hines. Yeah. Was there anybody throughout your career that you worked with where you were just blown away by just their natural talent?
Oh, it happens all the time, I think, for me. The kids that are in family reunion are just absolutely so talented across the board. They do everything, and they do it well. It's just amazing how I think everybody that's coming into the business now, they've watched the people that are in the business. They can do what they do and more. I mean, and add that extra bounce or that extra flavor to it. So, it's almost a thing of keep up. You've got to, because the internet is there. There are all these other things that are going on besides just, the 3 TV stations that were around when I started. Wow. There's streaming and doing all kinds of things that are brand new. And everybody's branding themselves and selling their power. So you have to learn how to do that. That's all new.
You don't need to.
You did a great job.
We all know who you are. You're a good girl. Loretta, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us, and we definitely look forward to seeing you on TV One's Uncensored. To our DBL Nation, make sure you watch it this Sunday. Thank you so much.
Come back and see us.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
10 o'clock. We'll be right back.
A new report from T-Mobile says hackers have compromised more than 50 million of their accounts. The hackers gained access to everything from names and addresses to account PINs and social security numbers. And it's not just current customers. Former customers and anyone who's applied for an account could have been targeted. T-Mobile says they're working with law enforcement and taking steps to protect affected customers, but there are some things you can do to stay vigilant. First, change your passwords on the affected accounts. Once you've done that, keep an eye on your bank statements and credit reports. And remember, you can still get free weekly reports from all 3 credit bureaus. If you see any suspicious activity, you can freeze your credit, which will make it tougher for hackers to open new accounts with your stolen information. We know all this may seem like a lot of work, but when it comes to securing your personal info, putting in the effort now can make a big difference down the line.
Welcome back to DBL. After an 8-year-old heard about a tragedy from the local news, she took matters into her own hands to help the victims' families. That's today's Heart Threads.
After witnessing a tragedy, this girl was moved to turn lemons into lemonade. One night, 8-year-old Faith was watching the news and saw 4 people die at the Faster Horses Music Festival.
She said she couldn't sleep because she was just thinking about how sad their parents were.
That night, Faith dreamed about a lemonade stand, so she took her mom's phone and shared the dream on Facebook.
I woke up to people talking about a lemonade stand and helping me with a lemonade stand. I actually thought that I made a status in my sleep about starting a lemonade stand, or I was dreaming. I was really like, what happened here?
Faith's mom wasn't dreaming. They received an outpouring of support. The first donation came from Faith herself.
I had $28 in my piggy bank, so I decided to donate all that $28, but I was saving up for a skateboard.
After 4 days, Faith raised $1,008. All of the money raised went directly to the families.
And my parents said, "Why did you do that?" So I said, "One good deed starts a chain reaction."
What an exceptional young girl. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Cms Exemption Form that every parent can request to fill out for their child. You can see on this form that there are 3 exemptions: medical, behavioral, or developmental. However, many parents have asked us if CMS will accept any other reasons for not wearing a mask. Let's verify. Our sources, CMS and Gary Monty, attorney and managing partner at Monty PLLC. The CMS exemption form for the 2021-2022 school year states exemptions from wearing a face covering due to medical, developmental, or behavioral reasons require certification by a medical provider. It goes on to say that parents and the medical provider need to fill out the form. Many people have wondered if religious exemptions would be allowed. We reached out to CMS and asked if students could be exempt for any other reason than what's on the sheet. In an email, CMS told us the exemptions are spelled out on the form, so we can verify that no, religious exemptions are not included on the CMS form. However, attorney Gary Monty says religious exemptions, though not on the form, could hold up in court if a person was not wearing a mask.
I would say that the 3 exemptions that the CMS, the school system, has put down are probably the exceptions that would be considered the standard. However, there's always, room for a court to say, hey, there are religious exceptions that ought to be applied, and a judge, a court, a jury could decide that.
However, Monty says parents need to keep their children home if their kids are showing symptoms.
If the child was exhibiting symptoms or had been exposed to someone with COVID and you sent them to school, then certainly you would still probably be held liable for that, irrespective of the religious exemption.
The form does state students exempt from wearing a face mask are required to quarantine for 14 days if they're in close contact with someone who tested positive, unless the student is fully vaccinated and symptom-free. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
Welcome back to DBL. Have you ever wondered why some couples dress alike? Well, Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union are often seen out coordinating their outfits and style. And who can forget Gwyneth Paltrow and Brad Pitt, who also sported matching clothes and haircuts.
Wow.
But a fashion psychologist says dressing like your partner shows you have a higher level of empathy. That's interesting, and means you're happy and content in the relationship. But it can also be unhealthy if you are just changing your style to please your partner.
You went from very happy to like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Because Full transparency, we were talking about this in the break, and I said, you kind of dress like Mark, maybe we should do this story. And you...
No, we do not dress. We have similar style, but that's different. We have similar styles. We don't coordinate outfits.
You both look like you're about to go to a concert in '99.
What?
Yeah, you both are dressed like you're going to a concert in '99. Like you're, literally, you should have tickets to Green Day in your hand. Soundgarden.
Oh, I love Green Day. I love Soundgarden.
Yes, we can tell by your...
There's a difference between coordinating outfits, like the jean dress, like we saw with Britney Spears, and the jean outfit with Justin Timberlake, and you and your partner having similar styles. Mark and I both like punk rock and metal, so yeah, we're gonna have similar styles. Doesn't mean that we coordinate. That's totally different.
Yeah, but you guys dress exactly alike.
What do you mean?
You wear each other's clothes.
You do.
You said no, and everyone in here was like, oh yeah, they totally dress, like not even a big deal.
I will borrow his band tees.
So yes, you do wear each other's clothes.
You don't ever wear Anthony's like oversized shirts or flannels or sweatshirts?
Be honest.
I wear some, generally when I wear Anthony's clothes though, I don't go out the door.
Oh, wow. I can't see Erica because all this shade over here.
I'm not saying anything bad about it. I love your style. I think that your style is great. It's perfect for you. I love it. I'm just saying I don't, but I do, actually, it's funny because I do coordinate Anthony's looks.
You do?
I
for what he
absolutely
wears.
Do you coordinate with Jordan?
Sometimes we do look alike.
You coordinate.
We don't coordinate. Sometimes we're just like, wow, we're matching for no reason. Listen, we're out of time. Grabs Mark's jacket and let's get out of here.
I can't. DBL's new every day. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye, guys.